The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
You can save up to $1,930 on a new furnace and AC combo or boiler. Don't miss this great deal. Go to standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93X.
Hey, I know you don't smoke weed. I know this. But I'm gonna get you high today. Cause it's Friday, you ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit to do.
Is it Friday already?
I need to borrow your car right quick.
What kind of shit is that? You wanna borrow my car? Hell no! The hell on.
Well, let me borrow a joint.
You need to borrow a job with your broke ass. Always trying to smoke up somebody's shit. The hell on, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.
Ladies and gentlemen,
What's up, big
the
worm?
weekend.
Now we're talking, Josh.
Sounds that way. Are you ready? Is everybody ready for this jelly?
I'm ready.
I'm not.
I'm always ready for your jelly, Josh. You know that.
You're sick. You were
Start the
raised wrong.
countdown.
I was Southside Egan, you're right.
Start the clock. Because every second that ticks by means I'm one step closer to tap dancing my carcass smooth out the door of this miserable building and enjoying a couple days of nothingness. Welcome to our program, the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. Welcome to the Friday show.
Sometimes it's fun to come into insults, when people they address you with an insult. Nick, you do that quite often when you walk in the studio in the morning.
I do. I think today I called you a pig effer.
Yeah, you called me a pig effer.
Yeah.
Which made the news about 3 years ago. You can look that up. Bingo card Jesus called us barf bags.
Barf bag.
Been a while since I've heard that.
Nothing but a bunch of barf bags.
What's up, barf bags?
I don't think I've ever been called a barf bag before.
Well, now you have.
Yeah.
Write it down.
Welcome to the club.
January 26th.
Yeah, welcome to the show. We're checking in here on a Friday. And we got a regular Friday gimmick to toss your way at 8 a.m. Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder will once again compete for the title of Smartest Man Alive as part of another edition of our Dad Fights Trivia Showdown. Other than that, we're just straight up milking the clock.
Kneeling it down, letting it run.
That's what we're doing. We're in victory formation.
Victory formation.
Ready for the weekend.
We've given enough.
I would like to apologize to the podcasters. We've been having some technical issues this week with the way our podcasts are recorded, and I know yesterday's was dreadfully short, so we apologize. A few people have texted in on it, and Hatch Daddy Jesus was nice enough texting and say, "Is everyone okay?
Yeah.
Did something terrible happen?" No, we just had some issues there.
Although that would have been the right thing to guess, is that there was a fire, something awful had. There's an explosion in one of the studios.
Yeah, nothing like that.
It's just the friggin' internet, man. It's always a problem.
I don't necessarily want to blame KQ, but that's where the blame goes.
Sure.
All
I'm glad
over
you
there.
said it because the rest of us were thinking it.
Life was so much easier around here before all this technology kicked us in the nuts. Now we got to worry about podcasts and this and that.
Working today,
so maybe
though, right?
I'm not in the best mood. I don't know. What about today?
Maybe I shouldn't have said anything, but
it's working
it's
today.
working today.
So this means the thing is working, so then the folks who listen to podcasts can find it on our website. That's what that means?
That's correct. Anywhere you get your favorite podcasts, and then we'll also be on there. Your favorites will be there. We'll be there as well. But I can tell you this. If it's not working as it should, this entire first break so far will not be on the podcast, unfortunately.
So they won't have any idea.
No, they have no clue. They have no clue. We apologize. Nothing.
They're just like, wow, these guys are dicks.
Yeah, they never said sorry.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know who this was. No name connected to who just texted in. Oh, I recognize the number. This guy's a longtime listener. But he's right about our overall approach today. Like I said a couple minutes ago, what did I say? Start the clock, start the countdown. Dude texted in to say, just like my 6th grade daughter's basketball games, you guys are on a running clock. No stopping on the whistle. Not today.
My son plays 6th grade basketball, and that's pretty fun. I like that thing doesn't stop.
Yeah.
You know when you're getting out of there.
Yeah, that's nice.
Oh, there was a mom that had to be escorted out on Saturday. I can't believe I forgot to tell you guys.
I love these stories.
Wow, 6th grade basketball.
Yep.
And a mother got so sideways with somebody they had to escort her out the gym.
Yeah, so I showed up just right before the game because I was out at Shaver's Deal. So I raced out of Shaver's Deal to make my son's game, and I get there right at the beginning, standing room only. These things are packed. It's crazy how many people show up at these 6th grade ball games, right?
Huh?
Yeah, packed.
There's bleachers?
Not bleachers. It's just a couple rows of, a row, I should say, of chairs all the way around, right?
Oh, okay.
And I mean, there's like a lot of people there.
All right, so wow, packed crowd.
Packed crowd.
Here comes Cubby.
Yeah, so I see a lady, looks worked up, definitely worked up, right? And her son apparently is on my son's team. And I get a text from my stepdaughter. She's next to me, she's standing next to me, and she says, this lady, and then she uses a bad word, is a bad word, right? Yeah. She said the word in the text message. And so
the word.
The one.
The one that most of us don't have the balls to even try to use.
Never. I used it once, just saying, hey, you're kind of being a blankety blank. When I was a young man, I thought I could get away with it because I said, you're almost as if you were one, and that didn't work out well. So
I bet not. No.
Never used it since. I've learned. I was a young man, actually.
Yeah, understandable.
And I look over, and I kind of was looking at her then every once in a while, and she was getting really worked up. Again, this is 6th grade basketball. I mean, and this isn't the traveling team. These are the kids that just play in between other sports that they care about.
Beyond
right?
meaningless.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So before I get there, my wife texts me about it too. She's sitting over in a different area. She got there earlier. She texts me.
Every member of the family goes to see the 6th grade basketball game?
Sometimes, yeah.
Jesus Christ. Okay. And so the wife is telling you this woman's a problem. Your stepdaughter's
she tells me, hey, have you noticed this lady? She's wild. And I'm like, yeah, I just kind of became alerted to her. She said earlier she kicked an old lady out of a seat. Whoa. She stole a seat from an old lady. And this is a younger one, probably, I don't know, late 30s, early 40s.
All right, so she's throwing old ladies out of their chairs.
Yeah, so and other people are starting to take notice. And eventually, she gets escorted out when her son got a foul. And, it was a questionable foul, right? It wasn't a big deal. And again, this is 6th grade basketball.
Right.
Okay. So the son gets a foul. Kid's going up for a layup, and he bumps him just a little bit. He gets called for a foul. The other guy's going to the line, and she stands up and says something about, like, that was stupid, you effing idiot, to her son.
Oh, wow.
Calls him an effing idiot. And people are like, all right, maybe it's time for you to go.
Jeez.
Uh-oh.
I love it. Save a seat for me next time around.
Hey, if you can, that'd be great. Saturday. Yeah. We'll see you Saturday.
I mean, what can you promise? This woman's going to be there dumping the C word and F-bombs on people.
Boy, good question. I don't know.
So who escorted her out?
I have no idea. I think it was someone with her.
Yeah.
I think it was. There were people sitting right next to her, so I'm assuming it was a family member that just said, well, let's take off. He probably shouldn't stand up and F-bomb your son when he gets a ticky-tacky foul.
Let's go get a Snickers and some fresh air.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah,
if that lady's going to be there for the ball games, that sounds like fun.
I pray for that kind of action when I go places. Like something weird happened like that, so I could sit on the sidelines and just watch.
Well, so what I've noticed with the kids growing up and their different sports is everybody talks about hockey parents, right? Mm-hmm. And I only noticed that my stepson, from the time he was 5 through high school, played hockey. So I've been to a lot of hockey games, and I've only really noticed 1 or 2 times where it was where maybe a mom was really loud and Tad fouled, and once a dad was a little aggressive.
I think the moms.
Yeah, it seemed like it's moms a lot. But yeah, nothing like you hear, right? Nothing like you hear. But what I was shocked by is softball. And my daughter played softball through high school, through middle school. And some of those people are nuts, man. Like, shaking, rattling the fence.
Oh, my God.
Getting up, yelling at the ref, stuff like that. For, these girls are just out there trying to have some fun, and they're super embarrassed.
Yes,
and
that's the worst.
Yep.
That was all dads going nuts. There's one guy that was angrily pacing, stomping the ground super hard, like bumping into other people. He was, I don't know what happened. This was a tournament in South Dakota. So he was cheering for a different team. I have no idea where he's from. People come from all over the country to go there, but this guy, I've never seen somebody more mad in my entire life.
Traveling fast pitch dads are some of the angriest people I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, you played, so that's exactly what it was. Yep. Traveling fast pitch.
Luckily, my parents were never like that. They're just the type to like find a seat far away and they don't really want to get into all that drama. But especially the coaches that had daughters on the team, I've seen a lot of hotheads there.
Well, Josh, you had mentioned that too. They come from all over the country. I know Brad's talked about that. The expenses and taking teams, to these big tournaments. Maybe that's part of it. The dads are all already fired up because of how much this cost, that they're already a little on edge.
Right, the parents are both taking second jobs to afford it.
They have to take vacation days to go out there.
Yep.
Kidney Stone Jesus referees youth soccer on the side, and he said the parents are insane. And, somebody else says basketball parents are the worst. It's all over the place now, right? It seems like
we're surrounded.
It gets worse and worse and worse.
We're surrounded by idiots, and a lot of their children play sports. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Doesn't matter what effing sport your kid's playing. There's going to be a couple of ass clowns that are going to show up and make fools of themselves. Now, it's not all bad, like Ashley said. Some days that's great. I want to see a show. You know what I mean? But some days it's not so great. We've traded these stories before, and it's always fun. I know last time we had this conversation about ridiculous, insane, overbearing parents of young athletes. The last time I told you the story about the dad who came over the glass to kill us because of the way we were kicking his kid's ass on the ice. He came over the glass, he slipped and fell and knocked himself out on the ice. If that's not my favorite out-of-control sports parent from my youth athletic career, if that's not my favorite, then it was another episode. This was back in the day, hockey tryouts, and at the end of the tryouts, all the kids, including myself, we file out the locker room to a bulletin board to where the names have been posted on who made the A team and who made the B team. To show you how long ago this is, there isn't an A1, A2, A3, A4, B1, B2, B3, C, D. There was just an A team and a B team. Okay.
I was going to ask, it's funny you bring that up because one of my neighbor's kids, he plays, well, both of them, they play hockey, right? And one of the kids was over for dinner the other night, and he was on a A4 team. And I was thinking, wait, A4? When did that happen?
So D.
Well, right. A4, otherwise known as D. Well, it happened when some of these schools got massive, but also it happened when suddenly we decided that our children can't handle to be told that they're the fourth best player or the third best, right?
Yep.
So, wait, you're still on the A team, even though it's the fifth, right? You know what I'm talking about? A lot of things happened that changed. But anyway, so this was a day when tryouts were over. Take off your gear, run out to the bulletin board to see what team you made, A or B. So I was kind of buddying around with this kid, Donnie, at the time. And so Donnie and I together, well, everyone raced for the bulletin board, but I was, side by side with my bro, Donnie. And there was one dad in particular, his kid was a goaltender. And so that dad was also interested in seeing, what team his goalie son was going to be playing for. Now, this dad was a notorious prick, took it all way too seriously, and drank a little too much, too. Sometimes he'd show up to the games and practices a little buzzed up, if not beyond buzzed up. And I think that's part of what this dad, what made him act like this. So again, Donnie and I and the rest of the kids, we go out to the bulletin board. And drunk goalie dad sees Donnie's name on the A team, and he doesn't approve. And he let it be known in front of all the kids, including Donnie, in front of all the parents. He goes, Donnie made the A team? Are you kidding me? That kid sucks. That's ridiculous. Are you kidding me? Did you see this? Donnie, the kid right there, he's on the A team? You got to be effing kidding me. That kid sucks.
Jeez.
How do you go to sleep at night and think, what a day it was? How do you not feel like a giant douchebag?
Yeah.
I showed that 13-year-old.
It was insane. It was so embarrassing and so awful, but also kind of awesome. But more so, the negatives outweighed the positives of that particular moment. You wouldn't believe the hush that went over the crowd at that moment And then it went the other way. Then it was, get the hell out of here, you son of a
Nice,
bitch.
okay. I needed
like
that satisfaction at the end. Did the other parents
most
kick them out?
people would have to live to be 1,000 to see something like that. And I got it when I was 14 years old, so I do consider myself a little bit lucky.
That's the type of conversation you have in your head. You don't necessarily verbalize that. But what did he have a point?
No.
He didn't have a point.
No. He just didn't like Donnie for whatever reason. Donnie could play.
Medical Device Jesus said fourth grade girls basketball with his daughter. He couldn't believe the conversations he overheard from dads sitting there criticizing their own team like they're on a national morning sports talk show. Harshly critical of 10-year-olds. You know, that reminds me, there's a particular family member who has only come to a couple of any of the kids' games. But when they do, now keep in mind, they have a long collegiate, high school, grade school history of never playing a sport.
I got you.
Okay, so that's where they're coming from. But they certainly know everything. And also, I should mention, they don't watch professional sports. They know everything about the game. They criticize kids. And there was one time they were criticizing a particular kid, because they know everything.
Yeah.
And the kid, I had to say, just so you know, that kid's parents are standing right there, you dumbass. Everything you said, they heard.
They can hear you.
Yeah, way to go. Way to go.
That would make me crazy.
Yeah, just here, why don't you put on a whistle, get out there, and show everybody how it's done.
I want to put on a whistle. You want to know why, Josh? Because the whistles go woo-woo.
OMG starts this text. Swim parents are so awful. They compare every single kid on every event. It's not pretty. In addition, they are not nice to each other. It's too bad.
Swim parents?
Yeah, wow.
Chill out.
You know who was a swimmer when they were a young athlete? My friggin' wife.
Oh, really?
She was a swimmer.
Did she have a particular event?
I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Like the nice breaststroke?
Yeah.
Just basing it on what I know about her.
She probably could have done that. I don't remember what her vibe was. I know nothing about professional, amateur, or any level of swimming. I can barely swim myself, but she was a swimmer as a young person.
Did she do any other sports?
No. Oh, God. Awful athlete. Absolutely awful.
Is she, just out of curiosity, and you don't have to answer this question, is she still into water sports?
Oh, you son of a bitch. Nah, I'm not that lucky.
TV Installing Jesus has a theory. Parents like to think their kids are the next Kobe Bryant so they can retire. Wrestling parents are the worst.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people are saying.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of text from that.
They're all bad. Don't give me they're the worst. They're all bad.
Yeah,
by the way, Josh.
I wouldn't consider this. Big rocks into little rocks, Jesus. Motocross dads, another level. Thousands of dollars in bikes. The kids are 6 years old getting reamed for having fun. Yeah, I curse my parents for not having the financial ability to get me into motorsports.
I didn't know that was an option for kids.
I really wish that's a career path I could have had.
You know who was real close to being one of the greats in motorsports was my friggin' wife.
Really?
I'm kidding. No,
She's a swimmer and she also rides motocross.
Does she still like to churn up the dirt road every once in a while?
Oh, she fell into a pool and that was it. She never rode a motorcycle. Josh, before we go any further, I mean, we should have mentioned this right away. Great looking mustache.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Did you grow that in a day? Like, how did I not notice that yesterday?
No, it started out as a beard.
Oh.
And then I trimmed it into a mustache. Forever, if you wanted to look older, you grew a mustache. And I remember not being able to wait until I could grow facial hair.
You look like a cop.
Well, yeah. I'm a little worried that I look like I'm about to sing Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, you kind of do.
Oh, no. I was kind of concerned.
You brought it up.
I thought everyone was going to bring that up. Hey, Freddie Mercury or something like that.
You do look a little bit like Fred Mercury when you wear the mustache, but good for you. I've told you for years and years and years, because this isn't the first time I've seen you with a mustache. You really wear it well.
Well, that's nice of you to say.
You really do, and it fills out beautifully. I mean, you were kind of built for that.
So this is maybe it's coming from a cop family. I don't know, but you grow it to look older back in the day. Now I'm growing it to look younger. So with my fellow kids, they all have the mustaches. All the young people have mustaches now from Top Gun Maverick or whatever started on them.
Yeah,
not sure.
I'm pretty sick of that friggin' vibe. But yeah, go ahead.
But I had an issue, and I was telling Nick. So I grew it just to really bother my wife and kids.
Sure.
Because it drives them nuts. Like my youngest yesterday, he's like, are you really keeping that? Are you going to shave? Are you really? Because I've done this to him before, right? He hates it. I wanted to do a handlebar mustache, but I couldn't make it work. Like I couldn't get the width correct. I need advice. I tried and I thought I had it, and then I looked again. I'm like, nope, that doesn't work.
No, that can be tricky.
So then you had to trim it down a little bit more?
Yeah, and eventually, it just got too thin underneath where I had to get rid of it. So.
I've done that before. I tried to get the Hulk Hogan style, you know.
Well, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. Yeah.
But I kept, one side would be too short, and then the other, so then you got to trim it up, and then now the other side's too short.
It can be tricky.
You just get to a mustache, and it's like, oh.
I did the handlebar. I've done the handlebar mustache a few times, only got it right once. But you do look a little bit.
I wonder if you could get like a stencil that you could put on your face.
I bet.
So then you can cut
You
around.
probably get. That's not a bad
Dude,
idea.
They have those
Genius.
for eyebrows.
Yeah, my girlfriend has
do?
it for eyebrows. Yeah.
They really do?
Yeah, so you can put makeup and you can get whatever angle you want.
Does she have a mustache-sized eyebrow? Because I could just borrow that.
She probably does have like a pencil thin one.
I'll try anything twice. Jesus has his hands raised for the first in line for a mustache ride. Well, unfortunately, Dana got here a little earlier than usual today. So if you'd like to be in the second slot, that's fine.
Take my sloppy seconds, man.
My life changed when I understood what a mustache ride meant. Because I heard my dad and his buddies talk about it for years. And what the hell is a mustache ride? And then when I finally figured it out, I thought, okay, this is living now. This is living. Understanding that joke. Yeah, Josh, you look great.
Should I keep it?
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
100%.
I've
I'm
got
telling
like a
you.
couple things I got to do today, and I was wondering if I should shave it first.
You look great in the mustache. You really do. Most people look like jackasses. They really do. And these, like you said, these young kids, Top Gun. You look like an idiot. You look great in the mustache.
Well, that's nice of you to say. Again, I appreciate it.
And a little bit like Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, that was my fear.
No, why would that be?
I mean, I love Freddie Mercury.
No,
but
I mean, it's just a tiny, tiny little bit. I think it's just the mustache and just the lower part of your face is Freddie Mercury-ish. A buddy of mine looks a hell of a lot like Fred Mercury.
Does he?
And he always wears a mustache, and he friggin' hates it when we tell him how much he looks like Freddie Mercury, because he hates Queen. He does. He hates their music.
How do you hate Queen?
Because he's a Southern rock guy. He likes it to be
But he
very...
can't appreciate them at all. I mean, there's bands I don't necessarily like, but I can go, they're very good.
Yeah.
They're very talented.
At times, he can loosen up and appreciate, but he's all about the Southern rock with the Skinnerd and the Blackfoot and who am I missing? Wappo. You know some of that stuff. The Allman Brothers. That's so he. But we torture him once in a while. Like he'll walk in the room and we'll put on Killer Queen. With the little piano intro. Boom, boom, boom. He gets pissed off.
That's so fun.
But you look great, and I'm proud of you because I've always liked that look on you.
Well, I bet you'd look great in a mustache, too. I don't know that I've ever seen... I've seen the handlebar thing.
I do okay, but I can't fill out as pure as you do.
Ashley, I like yours.
Thank you.
Yeah, you've inspired me.
Thank you. That's what I'm here for.
So here we go. Oh, I was just saying something about my friggin' wife. Oh, yeah, I told you she was a swimmer in high school. Here's a text message from Show Your Boobs, Win a Balloon, Jesus. He wants a shout out to his friggin' wife. She's dragging him on an airplane and then on his first cruise ship. I just told my cruise ship story not that long ago. So he texted in, he says, just in case she throws me overboard, it was good listening to you guys.
We're going to miss you, pal. We're going to miss you.
Have fun, man. Love the name. Show Your Boobs, Win a Balloon, Jesus is one of my all-time favorites.
The extended family just went on a cruise. We weren't able to work it out, just because of the work schedules, but they just got back. I'll have to ask them how it was. I've never been on one. There's part of me that thinks it'd be kind of fun, but then I also wonder if you just feel trapped after a while.
That's my biggest fear.
That's why I don't want to do it.
And, you hear the terrible stories about diarrhea dripping down the walls and stuff like that. I'd prefer to avoid that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Trust me, like I just told you my cruise ship experience, I don't know, a month ago. You don't feel trapped because you drink yourself sideways. You never feel anything. You don't feel trapped. I mean, I was on I don't know how long we were on the boat, but I mean, I think it would take, it was like 4 days or something. I think it would take a lot more than 4 days to feel trapped.
Do you even feel the boat? Like the waves?
Yeah, we covered this last time. Yeah, there was one morning where it was ridiculous.
Yeah, I'd have to really, really gear up on Dramamine or whatever.
No. But you guys, it's not like it's going to happen for 4 days straight. This was like for 2 hours one morning. Yes, it was pretty rough. Huh. Can those fears. You'd be fine. You won't feel trapped and you won't be puking over the side of the damn thing.
A cruise seems to me like a lot of things where when you get, for those that are in a committed relationship or married, they're not as fun because you're not out there trying to pick someone up.
Oh.
Like events before, like weddings and stuff like that. I was always excited to go to a wedding just on the hope. Just the hope, the sliver of a chance I could pick someone up at the wedding.
It's going to be more than a sliver of a chance with that mustache hanging on your face.
Is it unfair to other men?
Yeah. I'd say so.
Just real quick for me, Josh, just say, "Oh, won't you take me home tonight?"
I was singing that song just this morning.
Oh, down beside that red firelight. We're going to have some laughs today. Don't judge it on what you've heard so far. Friday morning, Dad fights with Randy and Brad a little bit later. And like I said, other than that, we're just milking that friggin' clock.
Tick.
Come 9 a.m., Jesus, just going to be a cloud of dust.
We should,
We're gone.
Just do what Cartman did. Remember when the Wii was about to come out? And he wanted to be in a coma because he couldn't wait until the Nintendo Wii came out?
You know, it's funny you bring up South Park. I was just watching some old episodes yesterday, and one of the episodes that I saw, I know was one of your favorites, Josh, where Butters gets in trouble for making a stupid face in his school picture.
Poor Butters.
He didn't take that well, did he?
I know you still have the audio of this laying around.
Let me.
Well, you don't have to worry about it right now. We can get to it later. But Butters gets in trouble with his parents. Speaking of overbearing parents, Butters folks are pricks. He gets in trouble for making a stupid face in his school picture when he was just making his regular face.
Butters! Hey, Butters! You gotta check this out! What? You gotta come to Kenny's house with us. There's these two people who have asses where their heads should be. I can't, fellas. I'm grounded for looking stupid in my school picture. But dude, you gotta see, it's hysterical.
Butters can't come out and play, boys. He thinks it's funny to look like a jackass in his school picture that I have to pay for.
But I told you, Mom, I didn't mean to look like a jackass. It just happened.
You made a goofy face.
No, that's just what I look like. See?
Don't you make that face at me, young man.
I'm not making a face, Mom.
Stop it. Fine, Butters. If you don't want to stop making that stupid face at me, you can just stay in your room for another week.
Another week? I hate my stupid face.
Poor Butters.
That kid could not catch a break.
No.
That was so well written. You know, when
where their faces should be.
When the South Park folks sat down to write that scene, I mean, that's especially when the mother goes, "Stop it!" That's just perfect mother stuff right there. All right, for Christ's sake, let's move on. Thank you for joining us. It's Friday. We'll be back here in a few minutes. Trust us, we will on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's 94 years of business celebration is going on right now. You can save up to $1,930 on a new furnace and AC combo or boiler. Don't miss this great deal. Go to standardheating.com.
You loved Lala Kent on Vanderpump Rules. Now get to know her on Give Them Lala.
I'm obsessed with the fact that GQ has named Kim Kardashian Man of the Year. You're upset about it? I suggest you do better then.
If there were a Cosmo Woman of the Year and it was a man, how would you feel?
Well, that would just be lies. Name a man who's doing better than women right now, and you can give him Woman of the Year. But until I see that...
Watch what Lala is talking about on YouTube or search for Give Them Lala wherever you listen.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
All right. I don't know. Suppose we're ready to go with the stupid news. How long did I take there to get on the microphone? Was that a long time?
No.
I hate my stupid face.
Oh, God.
Me too, Butters. Me too.
You do not have a stupid face at all, Josh. You look gorgeous.
You got to stop that.
All right. I'll stop that. I will. You sexy son of a bitch. Look at you. Look at you.
He promised.
All right, you already know this. Here's something that any reasonable person already knows, but I'm going to go ahead anyway. A lot of the so-called political leaders in our country these days are even more pathetic and embarrassing than the general public.
Whoa. I'm going to need one example. Good luck coming up with one.
We're definitely at an all-time low. If we're just talking about the mental qualities of our politicians, we're at an all-time low. And this effing guy here, he isn't helping the situation. A politician in Missouri. This is cute. He wants to bring back dueling. Like they did in the effing 1500s. I challenge thee, sir, to a duel. Right? We both take some type of old-timey pistol and we take 20 strides the other way and we turn and we... He wants to bring back dueling.
I'm not throwing away my shot. I'm not throwing away my shot. Hamilton reference.
Hamilton?
Officially never seen it. Well, I take that back. I watched like the first 10 minutes and realized maybe this isn't the movie for me.
Yeah, say on Disney Plus when it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
Yep.
I know people love it. I mean, no disrespect.
Not a big musical guy. And
Yeah, I'm not a musical guy.
I was like, I can see why people appreciate this, but I'm good here.
Yeah. I thought you'd love it, actually, Dave.
Yeah, I didn't really get into it.
I don't even know what the hell you guys are talking about.
I'd like to take you 12 paces right now, Dana, for that view on this particular. Is it
Let's
12
go.
paces? How many paces is it? That's all I need.
We have super soakers.
The dude's name here, the politician, his name is Nick Schroer. Nick,
I went to school with one of those.
Schroer. He's a state senator or something. Here's how his proposal came off. He wants to bring back dueling. And he says, if a senator's honor is, quote, impunged, I believe is how you pronounce that word, but I could be wrong. I'll just go with it. If a senator's honor is, quote, impunged by another senator to the point that it is beyond repair, they should be able to formally challenge the other to a duel. It then goes on to say they'd submit the challenge in writing, and the senators would need to agree to the terms of the duel, including choice of weapon, sir. It says the duel would take place on an agreed-upon date in the well of the Senate, whatever that means, at high noon.
It's my favorite dueling time, high noon.
Farewell to thee.
I want second pick when it comes to weapons, just to see what the first pick is. Yeah, what if I screw it up? What if I say, I would like a switchblade? And he's like, I would like an AK-47. Shoot, dang it. I would defer, just like in football. I will defer to the second half.
The story here that came smooth out of Newsweek magazine, they go on to say, well, of course, this will never happen, but...
It was mostly a joke, I believe. He's walked it back. Yeah, I think he was trying to make a point.
I'm sure you can't blame me for believing that this is legitimate.
Well, that's just reading a little further on it. It seems like he might have just been, trying to show things are ridiculous, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he did mean a duel.
With the way things are these days, I thought for sure, why not? You know what I mean?
No,
how could this not be possible with the way... Oh, so he was joking around?
You pick him up, you dropped him. Jesus says you always grab a tank first, buddy. Yeah, tank, that's what I want. I'd like one armored tank. Can you imagine? Some dude's got a musket.
Yeah.
I've got a freaking tank.
You're taking the paces. It's taking forever in the tank.
Just takes a long time. Who brought the M1 Abrams? Oh, Josh did.
1 second, I gotta sweeten this thing around here.
But the guy, knowing Josh's luck, the guy with the musket just gets the perfect shot off. That hits like the one thing in the tank that just makes the whole thing explode.
Oh, you know what happened?
Up the barrel.
I'd stand up and say, "Hey, where's the clutch?" And then he would get me right there.
Right between the eyes with a musket ball.
I'll take your life, but you'll take mine too. You fire a musket, but I run you through. What song? 651-989-9393.
Well, what if I know it and I want to play it? Shall I wait? I'll wait till the first
You're ineligible because this is your radio station. You are the owner of this radio station, so you're ineligible. You take my life, but I'll take yours too. You fire a musket, but I run you through. 651-989-9393. Start your message with Nick or Josh. Here's a text from a listener about when he prefers to duel. 1 o'clock, he says. I do my killing after lunch.
That would never work for you, Nick. Never. 1 o'clock? You're in a Doritos coma at 1 o'clock.
I don't remember the last day of my life where I was awake at 1 o'clock. Can't even tell you.
You know who I was going to predict would get the correct answer? Medical Device Jesus.
Well, a lot of folks have the correct answer on my song lyrics quiz. You thought he would be the first?
Yeah, so say the correct answer.
The correct answer is The Trooper by Iron Maiden.
Medical Device Jesus said, "Run to the hills."
What
He's
an
out
idiot.
of the Brotherhood.
No, you're gone.
I'm glad. I was going to say ahead of time, I know who's going to be the first correct answer, Medical Device Jesus. You've embarrassed yourself and the medical device community.
Nice knowing you.
We challenge you to a duel.
Sucker.
Are you going to take on a 6'4" guy in a duel?
That's a good point.
Yeah, he is a tall man.
The best concert I've ever been to, Iron Maiden, when they were touring with Ghost.
Coming up in November, they're playing in town, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I wish they could somehow remix these records, because Peace of Mind and Number of the Beast, they sound so muddy. You know, it was 1982. You know what I'm saying, Josh?
Yeah, I wonder, maybe they have and we just didn't know it. There's so many of these artists have done that.
Yeah. It just sounds
sometimes they make it worse, but sometimes it's better.
All right.
You know what? Medical Device Jesus, what he did when he said run to the hills is, we had an old boss where you'd name a band, and he would throw out like the one song he's aware of.
Right, and it was always the biggest hit.
So he'd throw out Run to the Hills as something I could imagine him saying.
Right.
Oh, Iron Maiden, Run to the Hills.
Yep. That was his move. He wanted to somehow show that he knew music. But really, all he was doing was dumping the hit single on you that everybody on planet Earth, you'd say, oh, yeah, last night I was watching my television. I saw Michael Jackson. And he'd go, oh, yeah, Michael Jackson, Thriller. Yes, you are correct, yeah. Michael. Yeah, good for you. Good one.
That's true. He would do that all the time.
Yeah.
Medical Device Jesus is checked back in.
What's the problem now?
I told Dana you'd be a fool to take on a 6'4" guy in a duel. And he says, I'm 6'6", so who's wrong now? Touché, my friend. Touché.
All right, I'll tell you, the burnout on subjects like this, for me personally, is real. The burnout is real. But again, I'll go ahead anyway because of how much I love all of you. It's the love that keeps me going. Here it is, the latest TikTok trend. I guess I should be more specific. It's the latest food-related TikTok trend. People are eating deep-fried toothpicks.
It's kind of crazy how there's some people, if they see it on the internet, they're like, you know what, F it, I'm doing that too.
That cannot be good for you.
South Korean health officials are warning the general public not to eat deep-fried toothpicks after videos started popping up on their version of that godless social media. So here's how it works, in case you haven't already tapped into this. You start by frying effing toothpicks in oil. And apparently they corkscrew under the heat, and they end up looking like curly fries.
They do look tasty. I will give them that.
Yeah. Those would look good on a burger.
I would never think they were toothpicks because I would think no one would be that dumb. I mean, it does look like food, though.
Some folks then go ahead and put some seasoning on them, and then you eat them. You eat toothpicks. Like that lady ate a fly on the television show Everybody Digs Raymond. She ate a fly.
Did you guys ever do the thing where you put the toothpick in your mouth to look cool and then try and flip it around?
Oh, definitely.
I did that. Stabbed the bejesus out of my mouth, the top of my mouth, but I did think that was kind of a cool look.
So did I.
I never really went with that one.
Oh, really? I thought maybe you would have tried it.
Walking out of a restaurant, you grab one, and you look kind of cool. Or did you think you do, but you kind of look like a tool?
That's probably more like it.
I think it's pretty hot still.
I saw something that I have to tell you because you have to know because I saw it. What are you talking about?
What did you see, Ray?
Angela ate the fly.
What do you mean?
The fly that was flying around. Angela killed it. It fell on the table. She put it in a napkin, and then she ate it!
The way he becomes uncorked over certain things, it reminds me of you, Nick.
Oh, God.
The way it's like 0 to 100 so fast.
I got to start watching that show. I'm sure it's on rerun somewhere, or it's got to be streaming on something.
I'm sure.
It can be a lot of fun. I watch it almost every day.
Do you really? Still?
Yeah, it's on some
streaming on Peacock.
It's on.
I got Peacock.
You don't need that stupid streaming. It's on a regular cable channel. Just to be normal and just watch cable. All right, listen to this. Maybe I shouldn't be so sarcastic about deep fried toothpicks. A YouTube dork has compared the flavor of a fried toothpick to the same taste as what you get from rice cakes.
Oh, yum.
Yeah.
my wife eats those, and I have no idea how she can stomach them.
I like the caramel ones. Those are good.
Set me up, because I can't get enough rice cakes. You know what I mean?
Okay, Ashley, that's a good point. They make other flavors. She does the plain ones.
What?
It doesn't make any sense to me.
Why?
Well, we'll have to break down boxes or something, throw them in the recycling. Just eat this.
Yeah,
Save the money.
basically.
Recycle.
Your wife doesn't think she deserves any pleasure. And that's not a sexual joke.
It could be.
Her diet is 100% healthy. It works out all that. Why didn't she want to have any fun?
I don't know. She does have a sweet tooth that she satisfies. She eats more sugar than anybody I've ever met. But yeah, when it comes to just like regular food, she doesn't really eat it.
Christ almighty. I mean, she's going to be on her deathbed one day and she's going to say to herself, for the love of Christ, I never had a bag of pizza rolls all to myself.
I call her a necromancer because she's always mixing potions. Like she doesn't even drink water plain. She's got some sort of amino acid or all these different things.
Electrolyte enhancer.
I don't even want to know what we're spending on that kind of stuff. That's a lot more than a bag of pizza rolls, I can guarantee you.
All right, so back to this. People are eating deep-fried toothpicks. Now, some are saying that this stupid bit comes off like a symptom of pica, a condition that we've talked about here on the radio program before, where you eat inedible objects like hair or dirt or drywall screws or cigarette ashes. They just eat things that aren't food, feces. But apparently, some pica folks eat feces.
I'm sure. I bet you're not wrong.
No, I'm not making it up. I might have made up the drywall screws, but
the drywall screws seem more believable than the feces for pica, from what I've heard. I mean, I know they do. Some have been known to eat hair and fingernails and things like that. But feces, that seems like it'd be called something different.
It says that is included. It is one of the less common items, which include glue, hair, cigarette ashes, and feces.
Cigarette ashes
I've
were
never heard
yum, 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 yum.
Dude, I sound like I know everything there is to know about pica. All right.
I saw you just eat a Mountain Dew can a second ago.
Right.
Angry bus driver Jesus wants to know, so do you use a regular toothpick to get the fried toothpicks out of your teeth? That's a great question.
Didn't think about that.
Health officials in South Korea are telling folks to pull their heads out of their asses because toothpicks, they just shouldn't be going into your belly. They say here that eating toothpicks is part of a larger trend called mukbang videos. Now, I remember talking about this in the past as well. Mukbang videos are where people sit down and eat excessive amounts of food for social media popularity. So, some dude out there can barely cross the room anymore because he weighs 6 bills, but he did get an 8th grade kid to like his video where he ate the ass end of an African water buffalo on Instagram.
Isn't it mostly women that are doing that? Like guys kind of get turned on watching girls just have these huge meals.
Oh, those have came across like my page before, and they just make my stomach turn.
The one mukbang video that I've watched, I'm sure you're right, Josh, about it's mostly women. The one video I watched was a dude, and he was just windmilling a bucket of rice into his yap, and it was tough to watch.
I saw, it was South Korean women, the ones that I've seen, and they're very pretty. They have these very pretty girls that are just eating these mammoth meals. I dated a girl like that. I thought it was awesome.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Remember when we dated the best friends, Nick, for a little while there?
How many of us have them?
Friends.
Right. Yes, I remember when we were dangling with those little cupcakes.
And then, so I was dating, she was very tiny, but she had this appetite that was just incredible.
And
she could out-eat
and
me.
you thought that was what?
I thought it was kind of cool.
Kind of cool?
That, like, she was fine. You know, it wasn't somebody who was afraid to eat in front of someone else. I mean, she went for it.
And then until the gas kicks in later.
That was part of it, too. That was part of the experience, Nick.
Hey, those chicks were pretty wild.
Yeah, they were. You know what she had a lot of?
I do. I know the answer. But I'm not going to answer for you. I want the other folks to answer. What did she have a lot of?
She was a very sweet person. What do you say? Somebody who has a lot of...
Spunk?
Empathy?
No, she's got a lot of...
I'm lost. Heart?
No, arm hair wobble.
Arm hair.
She had a lot of arm hair.
Dang.
Like Robin Williams style arm hair.
Dude.
No way.
Empathy? What the heck?
Is it being sweet?
She had a lot of arm hair.
There was a ton. I thought it was obvious.
So between the eating, the gas, and the arm hair, that's just the Josh trifecta right there, isn't it?
Hey, let me tell you
One that
something.
got away. I like people who are themselves.
I got too.
I clearly got the better half of that best friend combo.
Remember that time you had to come over and cut me out of her arm hair? That was so embarrassing.
Oh.
One of the most embarrassed I've ever been.
Nick comes in with a weed whacker.
What was the name of that television show? We are funny police officers somewhere in Nevada. What was
Reno
that?
911?
Never saw it.
I haven't either. I wanted to support Nick Swartzen, but I haven't. I have the right show, right? Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
I love it.
I've seen plenty of clips, obviously.
Never saw it, but I did see the movie, and it wasn't very funny. But there was one really funny scene in the movie where two of these cops are dangling in a hotel room together. One Dode and one Czech cop. And at one point, dude got his wristwatch tangled in her pubic hair. Maybe you had to be there, but that really happened in the movie. And someone had to come in and cut them free of each other. Got his wristwatch caught in their pubic hair. I'll be totally honest with you. I thought that was going to get a lot more steam than it got. I just really thought that was going to go further, and it went nowhere.
Been there myself, my friend.
I really thought that was going to be a keeper. I like to believe that maybe I can avoid how pathetic society has become by going out and joining the Amish. But that strategy isn't working either. So maybe I'll give that some more thought. Here's this now. In Michigan, an Amish family had their horse and buggy stolen while they were inside shopping at the neighborhood Walmart. Someone stole the horse and buggy.
Just rude.
Hey, someone stole our ride. What do you have there? That's got 1 horsepower. Poops in the street. I agree with you. There's something about the Amish. I don't know what it is.
Do you agree with me that I should have got a better reaction out of that wristwatch pubic hair story?
Well, we knew the scene. Maybe that's what it was. It
Yeah.
wasn't the surprise wasn't there. But yeah, I know what you're saying about there's just something about the Amish. It's like you're watching Little House on the Prairie or something.
I thought maybe that was the move to join the Amish, but now they can't even avoid the derelicts. This happened in a town called Sturgis, Michigan. A truck driver parked in the Walmart parking lot had seen a female steal the buggy, so he gave the cops a description of the gal. It turns out police had already had problems with this same gal earlier that day at the same Walmart. The story doesn't get into specifics as to why the cops had to talk to this gal earlier at Walmart. But they eventually found the stolen horse and buggy later the same night. They were able to find this dumbass lady hanging out at a nearby motel where all the good people go. Just hanging out front of a motel.
Boy, my first apartment was next to a motel. That got dicey.
Oh, I bet that'd be fun to watch, though.
Well, yeah, sometimes. But there were some rough characters that would come in and out of there. And it was one, I always thought it was a joke, but it was true. It was one where you could rent by the hour.
Oh, really?
Interested. Yeah.
Oh.
They had an hourly rate.
They arrested this lady. She was charged with larceny and how do I say this? She was charged with larceny and larceny of livestock. The horse is fine. It was returned to the family. Everyone's fine. A buddy of mine, speaking of motels, A buddy of mine, he's real bright. He comes to town a lot and doesn't think about where he's going to stay until the day of.
Oh, I hate when people do that.
Is he planning on staying in a hotel, or is he staying with buddies?
He doesn't think about it till he gets here.
But I mean, so it's not like he has a regular, I don't know which friend to call, so he'll go either way.
He'll usually end up in a motel because we're too old now to have a buddy come and crash for a few days. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm not going to play that game anymore. When we were 25, yeah, come crash. But now I don't want anybody at my friggin' house. So he usually ends up staying in motels. And he's got some stories. Because sometimes he's got no choice. He's got to stay in the worst rat trap. And one morning we got together and had breakfast. And he said, oh, hey, that really terrible motel down the street? And I said, yeah, I stayed there last night. Can I give you a quick imitation of what I heard last night? I said, go ahead. And he said, boom, boom, boom. Oh, God, no. That's what he heard.
Oh, man.
And he's laying, with the covers up just under his eyes.
Oh, yeah.
But hey, free continental breakfast and HBO.
Oh, it reminds me of that Family Guy episode where Brian and Stewie are staying in a hotel and they just hear like a crime next door. People are getting set up.
And I've been in a couple where I was a little scared for my life, for sure.
Oh, dude. All right, I like hard rock and, by God, heavy metal just as much as the next guy. But I don't think I'm built for this kind of a scene here. A Texas black metal band apologized for throwing a severed pig head into the crowd during a recent concert.
Our bad. Thought you guys were going to like it.
And they're taking heat from some of their fans, but not for tossing the bloody pig noggin into the crowd. They're getting their balls busted by their fans for apologizing. The band goes by the name of Martyrdom. I'm not familiar. They went ahead and played a show last Friday in Houston, Texas at a joint called the White Swan. And at one point or another, they threw a pig head into the crowd. All right. It can happen, I guess. And it was real. It was a real severed pig's head. Now, I'm not 100% sure when the band apologized. Later that night, the next day, doesn't matter. But they posted on their website, they said, we are incredibly sorry for anyone we offended with our actions and gimmicks on stage. They went on to specifically address any vegans or Muslims in the crowd who might have been offended by the flying pig head. The band said, we are a black metal band, and as part of it, we try to add a little bit of imagery and shock value to our set. Unfortunately, our act got carried away. We offended many, and we even harmed some people. So somebody might have taken that pig's head off the noggin or something. Who knows? When the band went on Instagram to remind everyone of their next gig, some fans wanted to pick a fight about the apology.
It's an example of you just can't do anything right anymore.
Yep, exactly.
You know how, yeah, right. There's always somebody out there who just can't help but bitch about everything they see. And of course, I'm sure these people who were complaining about their apology, I'm sure they claimed that if it was their band, they'd never apologize for anything.
I'm sure.
They'd never compromise anything.
They're so hard and tough.
I mean, it's always fun when someone judges a situation that they've never actually found themselves in. There have been people who like to tell us what we're doing wrong with this radio show, despite knowing absolutely nothing about how things work around here. No idea. They think they know, but they don't.
Yeah, sometimes, despite the best intentions, you can't please anyone.
No. So here are some of the criticisms they got from their fans. One person said, bending over for cancel culture. How very... How very black metal of you guys.
I hate the world. More and more every day.
Now, the band is funny. They're funny. And they don't back down.
Good.
The band responded by asking that person if they had a neck beard. And then they said that this person, quote, must have nothing important or significant going on in their life that they keep coming back on their page and commenting. Another Instagram user called Martyrdom a joke by apologizing for offending religions or vegans. The commenter also said, Everyone in the black metal scene laughs at you guys.
Oh, really? Does everyone?
Yeah.
The band didn't shy away. They pointed out that APOLOGIZING is the proper U.S. spelling of the word apologizing. Apparently, the commenter spelt it wrong. And they followed that up with the sad trombone sound of womp womp.
I love that they're replying, but that's what keeps those kind of people that's what keeps them going to reply. You just gotta leave them be.
So anyway, martyrdom apparently regularly throws a severed pig's head into the crowd. But now I guess they're having second thoughts. A witness from that Houston show said, quote, people were screaming, kids were picking it up, meaning the severed pig's head. There was cartilage and little meat pieces on people. It was gross. I started dry heaving. I had to go vomit outside.
Oh, wow.
Some fans were biting chunks off of the dead pig's head.
Oh, so now they might be responsible,
Swine
for
flu?
causing some type of illness. Maybe don't do that.
People were playing around with it like it was a beach ball.
Oh,
that's hardcore, bro.
It is.
That's messed up.
I
have been to so many Goo Goo Dolls concerts, and that's never happened.
Never once, huh?
Same with Matchbox 20. Even when he was with Santana.
Yeah? No
Never
pig's
once.
heads?
I saw Guar in concert when they were young and just getting going, and that was... I've never seen anything like that again in my life. I think that's a fair comparison, kind of what this band does and what Guar does. Any of the rest of you ever seen Guar?
No, I haven't.
I always wanted to.
Just videos.
Dude. But it was a riot. I had never seen so much fake blood and fake semen in my life.
Fake semen.
Oh, yeah. If you're in the first 10 rows, good Lord.
I like how everyone goes to those shows with just a white T-shirt,
Yes.
too. So then you can try to see how much stuff you can get on it.
And again, I always like to talk about the beginning. This was like 1990. Guar was just getting started, and they played First Avenue. I don't know how many years in a row they played. They're still coming to First Avenue. And I'd seen just a little piece of, Josh, when we were kids, we'd get Hit Parader magazine, right? And then you might order the VHS out the back of the magazine.
Yep.
Which just had
those ads always had cool stuff.
Just a hodgepodge of videos from all different styles of hard rock and metal bands, right? So I ordered one of those VHS tapes. And it was, the hot bands of 1990, Motley Crue and Winger and Skid Row. But they also had like a half hour dedicated to some darker new metal bands. And one of them was Guar. And as soon as I saw them, I thought, okay, what in God's name am I looking at? So we decided to go see them in person. And again, sorry if you've heard the story a million times, but the beginning of the show was so funny. So it's just a blank stage. It's just black with a couple of microphones, nothing on the stage. You could tell there was something behind a curtain, but it was presented with just two mics, like a couple of comics were going to come out. And here come these two dudes, and they say, sorry, Guar couldn't make it. Their bus got held up in Milwaukee, so we'll be the replacement act tonight. I'm Skinny D, and I'm Big Frank, and we're going to perform for you. And they'd start doing this fake, horrible rap show, right? And the crowd, of course, knows what's going on. The crowd's like, F you, bring on Guar. And suddenly the band breaks through a curtain and cuts them into a million pieces.
So awesome.
And blood is spraying out of their neck, and one of them gets their arm torn off, and then the Guar goes into their first song, whatever.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we were just roaring with laughter and fake semen flying everywhere.
Oh. I hope I'm not screwing this up, but did they mix it up, the types of songs they played, like tempo-wise?
Oh, Guar?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Just like Halloween used to do. Halloween and Guar were noted for mixing up the tempo of their songs. Josh, you're right. They played fast songs.
Sure.
Slow songs.
Yes.
Mid-tempo songs.
I love that so much.
Now, that's a Halloween story. Halloween.
I thought I screwed that up.
No, it's okay. Brilliant metal band for you older metal. Halloween is just unbelievably good. I love them so much. Halloween concert a number of years ago, the lead singer, Michael Kiske, There's this rabid metal crowd, right? Like, play us the fastest thing possible. Do what you do, Halloween. And Michael Kiske says, thank you for coming. He's a German guy, but he's almost got like this Dracula-type delivery. Thank you for coming to the show. Tonight, we're going to play some fast songs. And the crowd goes, yeah! Slow songs. And a few people go, yeah, right.
Okay, right.
And this is where he got no reaction at all. He says, mid-tempo songs.
If you want to make...
And then he's completely lost the crowd. He's not done yet. He says, boring songs.
I feel like if you wanted to end it on a big pop, you should have done it in a different order.
No, I think that was perfect.
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh, my God. It was so funny.
That's good. Yeah, we were just talking about the Iron Maiden show with Ghost, and that was the best show I've ever been to.
Yeah.
But that's when I fell in love with Ghost, because Tobias Forge was so funny on stage.
Yeah.
It's like this dark-looking band. They have an ominous sound. What's the name of the band members? They got a cool name.
I have no idea.
The Nameless Ghouls.
Yeah, the Nameless Ghouls.
Yeah.
They're in the background, and he was a funny guy. He was just like, hello! He just had a funny delivery. And
he's talking about sex the whole time.
Yeah, he was just like kind of goofy. It was fun.
He did. He had a cartoonish delivery.
Yeah, and he's in on it. He knows what he's doing. That was really fun.
And again, maybe you had to be there, but that night we were lucky enough to have a suite for that Iron Maiden Ghost show. And it was, me and Cubby, and we were lucky enough to bring some of our friends in there into the suite. But yet some listeners won a chair, a seat. And one of the listeners who, remember this, Josh? It was like a 16-year-old kid. He's full on into the dark metal scene. Everything on his body is black. He's got the black mascara. He's got the weirdo, wacky black haircut, right? He's just total dark side kid. And he's sitting in his seat, and he's got his Ghost concert shirt on. He's just wringing his hands. He can't wait for Ghost to begin. Well, my buddy Rick, who's a smartass, sees this kid, and Rick sits right next to him right as the Ghost show is beginning, and Rick puts his arm around this kid, and he says, I love Satan. And the kid looks at him like, who's this 50-year-old man in a golf shirt, right?
I'm intimidated by him. We've mentioned it many times.
God, that was so funny. The kid was so confused. I love Satan, right as the show starts.
Medical device Jesus, who doesn't know a lot about Iron Maiden despite being at the show, he mentioned that Ghost, it was funny when Tobias was like, okie dokie.
Yeah.
Cute.
He did. He said okie dokie. Yeah, we're going to play another one.
Mario.
Okie dokie, this one's cold. The devil will tear your heart out and spit it upon you. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back on the program.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
I've heard from a lot of people over the last couple of days. Wayne Gretzky reached out and congratulated me, and I was able to meet him a few years back. But it was really nice to see a text from him.
Man, Joe Mauer there got a call from Wayne Gretzky. I'd like to get a call from his daughter.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Woo-wee.
FaceTime from his daughter.
Joe Mauer,
she's something else. Yeah, you're right. A FaceTime. That's what you want.
I think I was watching something last night. Randy Shaver was warning us about this. There was video last night of Joe wandering through the Hall of Fame. He went out there, him and the other inductees for this year, got a little tour of the joint.
Yeah, and then they were all asked some questions, and he was responding to who's the most famous person that's reached out to you since the information came out that you were inducted.
And the answer was Wayne Gretzky. F me running. That's a hell of a deal. Look, we got to get cooking here, so I'll just give you a little heads up. The Wolves had another garbage fourth quarter in Brooklyn playing the Nets, but this time they were able to sneak out a 2-point win. We'll talk about that a little later. The Pigs also had trouble closing things out last night. They had a 1-0 lead going into the third period at home against Nashville. Predators scored 3 times in the final period, and they hung on to win 3-2. We'll talk all about the National and American Football Conference title games being played on Sunday when we're joined by Brad Ryder and Randy Shaver. Here in about a half hour, we'll also get to our latest edition of Dad Fights, where the two boys will go head-to-head in a little trivia showdown. Lots going on this weekend, and we'll get into it in a half hour. For now, stick around for Josh's news report.
X Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's 94 years of business celebration is going on right now. You can save up to $1,930 on a new furnace and AC combo or boiler. Don't miss this great deal. Go to standardheating.com.
What companies deserve your hard-earned dollar? Which would you want to work for? How can you know if they share your values? Just ask us. Just Capital is a nonprofit that tracks who really means business in supporting workers, customers, communities, the environment, and shareholders. We measure progress, track success, and help them be better. When you see the Just Capital seal, you know what's real, because just business is better business. Visit justcapital.com to learn who makes your dollar count.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
I've been in radio since I was 16 years old, and besides working on my dad's farm, it's the only job I've ever had. I fell in love with radio before I fell in love with another human. I didn't think I'd ever stop coming to work, grabbing my headphones, playing some rock and roll, sharing all of my family's successes, failures. I even thought that I would broadcast live from my hospice bed.
Some very sad news locally. It was revealed yesterday Larry Moon Thompson, a longtime radio personality at KS95, died after a long battle with multiple sclerosis. The station announced his death yesterday, saying he loved radio, making people laugh, and getting to know KS95 listeners. Moon co-hosted the Moon and Stacy show in the afternoons for 17 years. He signed off in October 2019, citing his health.
Sometimes in life you don't get to choose what goes on, and my health is now making my decisions for me. I was diagnosed with MS in 2005, and for the last 14 years, this thing has taken things away from me that I love.
Before coming to the Twin Cities, he worked at stations in Nebraska, Las Vegas, and Houston. In total, his radio career spanned 45 years.
My mom loved the Moon and Stacy show.
You know what? It was a great show.
Yep.
I used to listen to it, and they were the best at what they did. They knew their audience well, and very kind people. Stacy, I consider a friend. She's come to some of our events. Moon was one of the guys that always made you feel welcome, which is, not so common when other radio people meet you for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's true.
Moon was a guy who could fill a room with his personality. He always had a smile. I was very sad to hear of his passing. And I know, Nick, you and I both have had some very good experiences with him at a couple different events.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Yeah, great guy. Really great guy. Very funny dude. Just a real talent. And it was a shame that he left radio, and it's so sad to read that he passed. And, we know a few people over there who have worked here in the past. And if any of them are listening, we wanted you to know we're thinking about you guys over there. Everyone here at 93X was very sad to hear about Moon's passing. Good dude, gone too young. An airline passenger's joke between friends prompted the Spanish Air Force to scramble fighter jets. Oh, can you imagine being that guy?
The Spanish Air Force had to scramble fighter jets over a joke?
A joke, yeah. The 18-year-old and his friends traveled with EasyJet from London to Spain in July of 2022. But before departing, he told a friend on Snapchat, "On my way to blow up the plane, I'm a member of the Taliban, LOL."
Good joke.
Security services saw the message and flagged it to Spanish authorities, who sent 2 F-18 jets to follow the airliner until it landed. He faces a public disorder charge, which could result in him being ordered to pay over $120,000 if found guilty. $103,000 of that is from the Spanish Defense Ministry for the cost of scrambling the jets. According to local media, the teen told the court he first thought the jets were just flanking the plane as part of a military exercise. Pointing out the windows like, "Hey, sweet, I wonder why they're here." His lawyer told the court it was a bad joke, but emphasized it was one made in private with friends. And he didn't mean for anybody else to see it.
Well, how the hell did other people see it?
Well, I guess whoever, maybe a buddy, was like, "Oh my gosh, what's going on?" It must not have been that good of a buddy that didn't realize he was joking. Yeah, I don't know who saw it.
Jesus, that's a high profile F-up right there.
Yeah. Think of the worst joke you ever told.
Yeah.
Probably didn't get the Spanish military involved.
No.
A 6-year-old boy set off a terror alert in an airport in northern Turkey by bringing several realistic-looking toy guns in his backpack.
Uh-oh.
A portion of the incident was caught on cell phone video, which shows a visibly relieved police officer laughing with the youngster while examining his facility firearms. The boy's bag set off alarms after he put it through an X-ray scanner, which detected weapons. Police immediately stopped the device and seized the small red backpack for a closer inspection. But the scare was short-lived after the cops opened the bag and found the guns were, in fact, plastic toys.
Did they tune this kid up a little bit?
He was beaten mercilessly. Okay. Yeah, they stuffed him in a Samsonite, and they all kicked him. Footage recorded at the airport shows the beaming boy showing off a fake handgun as a cop sitting next to him laughs. The 6-year-old was seeing off his grandparents when he put his backpack through the X-ray scanner, which detected the suspected weapons. Passengers at a Brazilian airport were left stranded on the tarmac Monday after a swarm of bees covered the wing of their plane.
Bees! Bees! Bees everywhere!
The flight landed at Greater Natal International Airport.
Greater Natal International Airport.
Just after 12:30 p.m. With those on board hoping to disembark via a set of external stairs onto the runway. But a buzzing sound outside the plane soon startled passengers who were ordered back into their seats.
Greater Natal International Airport.
One traveler said the swarm started landing on the plane's windows, causing crew members to fear what would happen if they let the passengers outside at the airport.
I don't like those damn bees.
At the airport.
The Greater Natal International Airport.
The bees refused to budge, and the pilot eventually had to call the fire department for help. After not knowing exactly what to do when they first arrived, they eventually used a substance to remove the insects from around the plane. Passengers finally able to disembark just before 2 p.m., almost 90 minutes after the plane touched down.
I will let them take all the time they need if I'm on that airplane.
Bees?
I want to make sure that they get every single bee away from that aircraft.
Are you allergic? Are you just scared of them? Or what?
I'm absolutely terrified of them. I'm so dumb. I probably look like a 5-year-old, but like if I'm outside doing whatever and a bee comes near me, I'm the type that just runs away. And I know people are like, oh, if you don't bother them, they don't bother you. No, I'm running away.
My uncle is quite the tough guy, and he thinks he's even a bigger tough guy than he is, but bees are his weakness. If there's a bee around, he will run like a little child.
They're so scary.
I do think that's funny when the big tough guys have that one little thing they're really terrified of, like spiders or something.
Yeah, I'm with you. Anybody watching Ted, the TV series on Ted?
Absolutely.
Never saw it!
Oh, yeah.
Remember why the dad wouldn't flip the breaker?
Yep.
I don't want to give anything away, but that was pretty funny.
That would have been me.
The Hibbing High School Drama Department received a surprise visit from a Hollywood star yesterday.
Oh, you think we could guess the star?
I saw it.
I don't think you could.
Okay.
I'm not even sure you know who he is.
Was it De Niro?
No, it wasn't De Niro.
Okay, the Hibbing High School Drama Club.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead. This is very interesting.
Actor Timothy Chalamet stopped by a rehearsal session for a production there. Ashley, I heard you gasped.
Oh, gosh. I imagine those girls that were there probably just had a heart attack. He's so gorgeous.
I've heard the name.
He was there to see a practice for a school play that's going to debut this afternoon at the high school's auditorium. The Wonka star is slated to portray Minnesota singer and songwriter Bob Dylan in an upcoming biopic. Dylan, of course, attending Hibbing High School. Nick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Airport.
The Natal International Airport, yes.
The upcoming film titled A Complete Unknown will feature Chalamet taking on all of the singing duties and playing guitar. He's going to be doing both.
Playing the guitar?
Yeah. Production for the movie is expected to begin early this year. No release date yet set. But yeah, I bet those kids were awful excited.
Boy, I bet they came right off the walls.
The trailer for the Jake Gyllenhaal Roadhouse remake was released yesterday. Instead of a professional bouncer like in Patrick Swayze's 1989 original, this time the character of Dalton and Gyllenhaal's version is a down-on-his-luck former UFC fighter when he takes the bouncing job. Conor McGregor plays one of the bad guys.
Ever since I saw the Jake Gyllenhaal in Zodiac, is that what it is? The Zodiac Killer?
That sounds right to me.
Just been in love with him ever since.
Nobody ever wins a fight. Let me tell you a little story about Maple Lake, Minnesota.
Although there's a lot of excitement surrounding the film, the director is not happy about its release.
Oh, no.
He's upset that Amazon's sending the new movie straight to Prime without a theatrical release. In fact, he was quoted as saying, "They're using Roadhouse to sell toasters." Roadhouse begins streaming March 21st.
I'll watch it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I can't wait. Masters of the Air, the long-awaited follow-up to Band of Brothers and the Pacific, premieres on Apple TV Plus today. The World War II series stars Oscar nominee Austin Butler and follows the triumphs and tragedies of the 100th Bomb Group, an Air Force unit notorious for its high casualty rates and super dangerous missions. The 9-episode series documents a heavy 2 years of battles and sprawling cast of real-life people. Series star Austin Butler said before filming Masters of the Air, he had to hire a dialect coach because he couldn't lose his Elvis accent he adopted for the film. The film of which he received an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor.
Did any of you buttholes finally get around to watching that Elvis movie, or are you still buttholes?
Still buttholes.
Very much a butthole.
What the hell's the matter with you? By the way, I love World War II movies and what, Josh, and I was totally pumped when I saw the trailer for this setup, and then I found out it's a 9-episode-long series.
I thought it was a movie first as well. But yeah, it's a series.
Never going to get around to it now. I hate those stupid series.
Well, you liked Band of Brothers, didn't you?
Never saw it.
Oh, my gosh, you got to watch Band of... Maybe you just told us that not too long ago. You got to watch Band of Brothers.
I know everyone tells me that. Wapple got mad at me once because I hadn't seen Band of Brothers.
Good. It's the dumbest thing you've done.
I've done some things.
You think that's the dumbest?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Well, that is a great series. It's right up your alley. You'd love it.
Oh, I love that stuff, but series suck. Just let me do 2 hours. Why do you got to hang on to me for 9 episodes? You know, I'll get over it.
Now on Prime.
Way faster than I'll get over watching the Iron Claw.
I was literally just going to ask, could you give an example of a movie that sucks?
I was hoping it would go that way. Yeah.
Iron friggin' Claw sucked.
Now on Prime Video, Snoop Dogg in The Underdogs, which is dog with a double G, has to be, of course. Snoop Dogg plays a former pro football player who gets sentenced to community service coaching an unruly Pee-wee football team in his hometown.
Oh, for God's sake.
Mike Epps and George Lopez also star.
Mike Epps rules, but how many times has this scenario been played out in a movie?
There's a lot of these
movies. Are you kidding me?
Uh-huh.
Well, we're going to have to make you the coach of this ragtag group of dummy football playing kids. Well, I don't want to do... Hey, I learned to love them, and we won a game.
That's pretty much how they all go.
Good God.
I wish one would just have an awful ending.
Well, yeah. Him and the kids get arrested for murder. Right?
Yeah.
And that's the end of the movie. They're just incarcerated, and then the movie. I'd be happy with that, Ashley.
I'm sick of this movie trope enough that I will be watching it today with my youngest son. That's the stand I'm going to take.
Yeah, look at you.
And I kind of can't wait to see it.
A man's got to have a code,
Come
Josh,
on.
and you honor yours.
Just out of vengeance.
At least it keeps you away from watching Iron Claw in the theaters.
Josh, you got to tell him how you spell underdog, though.
I already did. Thanks for paying attention.
He said it already. Well, you know, that's the stupidest thing you've ever done.
Yeah, that is the stupidest thing you've ever done.
Papa was busy thinking about how much he loves the Iron Claw. So.
You did love the Iron Claw, man.
Yeah.
Man, yeah.
Hot bods.
Hot bods?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
You're talking about the wrestlers?
Yeah, Zac Efron, Jeremy Allen White, hot bods.
Wapple? Mm-hmm. Just when I think you couldn't get any dumber, you totally redeemed yourself. In a new interview this week, Snoop said he once upset Michael Jackson by blowing weed smoke at him. But other than that, they were tight.
He blew weed smoke at Michael Jackson.
Yeah, and I guess Mike didn't dig it.
I don't know. That kind of thing could probably have killed Mike on the spot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was so feeble.
And healthiest of guys. Finally on Prime Video, the series premiere of Expats, a drama starring Nicole Kidman.
X-Pac?
No. Suck it. A drama starring Nicole Kidman that follows 3 women after a family tragedy. New music out this week, Alkaline Trio, Blood, Hair, and Eyeballs.
What?
Eyeballs.
Blood, Hair, and Eyeballs?
That sounds like a mess.
That's the name of their record?
Yeah. What the heck?
What are they doing?
Blood, Hair, and Eyeballs is the band's final album with longtime drummer Derek Grant, who left the band last June.
I lost it. I missed your cue.
The rest of what's new in rock can be found on the 93x.com notable new releases post and our playlist on Spotify. The Teed Up Golf Card 2 goes on sale today at 9 a.m. Golf 6 area courses save $170. Before they sell out, you can get yours at 93x.com again, starting at 9. Former Timberwolf Mark Madsen, 48 on Sunday.
Mark Madsen.
And former quarterback Dante Culpepper will be 47.
Oh, Jesus.
Then tomorrow, Vikings wide receiver Jordan Addison turns 22. Comedian Patton Oswalt, 55. Singer Mike Patton, gonna be 56. The Pastronaut Josh Dobbs, whose official jersey, poster, lunchbox, and pop socket I bought after his game against the Saints and am now selling at rock-bottom prices if you want to make an offer. Turns 29 today. The great one, Wayne Gretzky, is 63. The hilarious one, Bob Uecker, turns 90.
Oh!
Happy birthday to Paulie, listening up at Red Lake this morning, and that's 93X News.
Care 11's Randy Shaver.
Got a fat ass and a bad attitude.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Heard that happen before. Hopefully that happens with Spencer Dinwiddie. And whether they choose to go as Cam or they choose, just make it Cam.
Eric?
Yep.
You okay?
Yep, I am. I gotta head out, guys.
Oh, no.
Dude, that's...
No.
You know, had those Chinese dudes not lit that fart, that would be my favorite audio of the last couple of weeks. That's some dude, some basketball dork who covers the Brooklyn Nets, is on the phone talking to a podcast. I don't know how
they're streaming on Twitter, or I guess X. No.
Whatever. Yeah. One of these deals where it's an internet show. Dude's on the phone, driving his car, and he's talking about the Brooklyn Nets and what they might end up doing with Spencer Dinwiddie, who you might have watched play last night against the Timberwolves, and he gets in a friggin' car wreck while he's on the phone.
Just make it Cam.
Listen.
Eric?
It sounds like out of Looney Tunes.
It's cartoon-esque sound effects. Eric, are you okay? Yeah, I gotta go.
Yep.
You okay?
Yep, I am. I gotta head out, guys.
All right, we'll see you later.
I think we've all been in that, yeah, I'm fine, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm. That's like a gift. All right. The Friday show is a hell of a deal because we get Eiffel Towered by Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder.
Okay.
Hey, fellas.
Good morning.
What's going on? How you doing? Doing all right?
Yeah.
Pretty pumped?
Oh, pumped always.
Yeah.
Get real quick.
Oh.
Back up, dude.
Yeah, it's just Brad and his friends again.
Pumped up for my classes today.
They're still at it. What do you mean?
You got classes today, huh?
You got to work today?
I got to work today. Yeah, I got to give 3 lectures today.
Wait, when does school start again?
Wow.
You're
What?
eating 3 lunches today?
Lectures.
3 lectures.
Lectures.
How do you eat a lecture?
How do you start your lecture?
It's an eating disorder.
Do you start with a joke? Do you kind of
I try.
move?
Yeah, I try to loosen things up a little bit, especially early in the morning.
Oh, man. No, that doesn't work too well.
No,
have
can you imagine just how flat that just starts?
Oh, come on now.
Do you mind sharing the opening joke?
No, I usually just kind of roll with whatever on my mind.
Do your kids just kind of roll their eyes when you start the joke again? Like,
here it goes.
My students love me. Come on.
What is
I used to pity laugh for professors all the time. I always felt bad for those guys up there. Yeah.
A pity laugh.
Yep.
What is the course, Brad Ryder? What is the course that you're teaching?
Today I have sports public relations. We have sports facilities and game management, and we have sports marketing.
You know, I know a guy whose kid's trying to head in that direction. Maybe I should send him your way.
You should.
Yeah. You'd be a good mentor.
Yeah.
Randy, I have guest speakers, and I should have you in sometime.
Randy's a great speaker.
Yeah, let's do it.
What would you need Randy for?
I'm not sure which course I could have him come into.
Randy goes in to show you up? Is that what you're saying? He's
pumped.
Did you say I'm going to fillet you?
Yeah, when did this turn into a competition?
I thought you said fillet.
I teach a sports ethics class later this semester. Maybe I could have him in for that.
Totally not ethical.
No, Nick's your guy for that. Did you say ethics? Nick's your guy.
Josh thought you thought he used the word fillet?
Yeah, I thought he said fillet.
Oh, for God's sake. Well, okay, Brad Ryder. We won't.
Brad, I'd be happy to come in and
find
speak
the right
to your
fit
class
for you. I've had several guest speakers, and I just haven't asked you yet.
Well, we won't.
probably a smart thing.
We won't take up too much of your time, Brad Ryder. You got things to do. You got classes
No,
to
I'm
teach.
good.
What time's the first?
First class is at 9:10.
Oh, you got plenty.
Yeah, I get off the phone here and I start prepping. So
maybe have Josh send you the audio of that fart.
Yeah,
that's a good
go.
icebreaker.
There you go.
That's a way to set the mood.
Right.
Do you have your favorite tweed sport coat lined up to be a professional?
Oh no, I go casual. I teach in jeans and whatever else.
Do you smoke a pipe?
No, it's one of the best parts about this gig is I don't have to wear anything but jeans anymore.
Do you date students?
No, that would be a big no.
Did you ever streak through the quad into the gymnasium?
All right, gentlemen, the National and American Football Conference title games will be played on Sunday. Pick your winners right now and why. Chiefs, Ravens, Lions, 49ers. Pick your winners and why.
I'll pick the winners. Go ahead.
I'm going to pick. I want the Lions to win so bad.
Yes.
So I'm going to cheer for the Lions. So even though I'm not quite sure they're going to pull off the upset, I'm going Detroit, and I think Baltimore is going to beat Kansas City.
Oh, I hope so. I hope you're right, Randy.
Yeah, I do not want any more Travis Kelce.
The country needs that right now more than anything.
Randy is done with Travis Kelce.
He is. Brad Ryder?
I think Baltimore and San Francisco are going to win, but I do believe Detroit may cover the spread.
What is the spread?
What is it right now? I saw it earlier this week. 6? Yeah, I think it'll be a closer game than that.
It sounds like everyone here, all five of us, and Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder, we are all in agreement with our favorite, what would I call him, Josh, sports writer?
Yes.
Our favorite sports writer, Drew McGarry. Drew McGarry wrote an article for a website called Defector yesterday, and the title is, All Right-Thinking Americans Agree We're Sick of the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yep.
My timeline on Twitter is just full of people like reposting like different memes and pictures of Lamar Jackson being like, please, man, please just let us have this. You can do this for us.
He's such a cool dude.
I saw something on Twitter yesterday where like Brittany Mahomes was out with Taylor Swift in New York. I'm like, just enough, please.
Brittany Mahomes was hanging out with Taylor Swift in New York.
Oh my gosh, are they besties?
Yeah.
Now, McGarry goes on to point out in this article, all right-thinking Americans agree we're sick of the Chiefs. He makes a point that it isn't entirely their fault. It's their job to win as many Super Bowls as they can for as long as they can, same as any other team. But that said, McGarry says, I really need them to F off. Because dynasty fatigue is real, and the Chiefs are the current standard bearer.
Yes, they are.
He says, I'd like Lamar Jackson and his crew to beat the absolute out of them. We're all on board with that.
Dynasties are fine, but when the main players in the dynasties are not likable, then people get sick of them in a hurry.
I would say even when they are likable, at some point you just kind of go, okay, enough's enough.
Yep.
So for the games on... Yes, Randy.
I was just going to say, the Chiefs have taken over for the Patriots, who for years we just loathed the fact that they were going to be in the championship in the Super Bowl kind of thing. So.
I was always fine with the Chiefs until this year when the Mahomes thing blew up at the end of that game. I thought that was uncalled for. And then I'm sorry, Swifties, I'm just so sick of all that. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
I get it.
And I'll admit that I'm less miserable with this dynasty than when the Patriots were in the Super Bowl every year. I am less miserable than seeing Belichick and the lunatic and friggin' Gronk year after year. I'm less miserable. But, Brad Ryder, good point. When Mahomes and Andy Reid all acted like entitled ass clowns after that, who were they playing that night?
The
Bills. Okay, that changed. What changed things for me was at the end. Remember, I'm sure you all remember this. At the end of last year's Super Bowl, when Travis Kelce was like, "Man, nobody believed in us."
Yeah,
yes, that was so awful.
Everybody believed in you.
Such a jackass out of himself. He interrupted someone else's interview.
It was Mahomes, I think. I think he interrupted Mahomes.
Comes pouring in. Ha ha ha! Yeah. It's like, dude, please. That's what started it for me. Okay, at the games this weekend, Pro Football Hall of Famers Joe Montana and Barry Sanders will serve as the honorary captains for the 49ers. I love when they do that.
Same here.
Love it.
Love when they bring out the old characters.
You finally get to see Barry Sanders.
And they'll be
in
involved.
January.
Can't Lions just enjoy themselves for the weekend?
That was cold-blooded, and I liked it. They bring them out for the coin flip and all that.
That's awesome.
Now, I have here for the Ravens-Chiefs, it says here Jonathan Ogden will be the honorary captain for the Ravens for the AFC game. I'm not sure about the Chiefs. Is it Christian Okoye still alive?
Oh, they haven't named someone?
I don't see it. I've looked everywhere. I can't find who the Chiefs are using. Is it Barry Word?
Barry Word.
Trent Green? Bobby Bell?
Bobby Bell would be amazing.
Buck Buchanan, or I think he's dead. Stephon Page? How much of this will you...
No, that's enough.
Is that enough? Otis Taylor?
No, well, I love Otis Taylor.
Neil Smith?
That's a cool name.
Priest Holmes?
Viking fans don't like Otis Taylor. But.
Willie Rofe?
Okay.
Who's the guy that Mahomes took over for? What's his name?
Alex Smith?
Trent Green?
Alex Smith?
Oh, Alex Smith.
Deron Cherry?
Oh, my God. Okay.
These are deep cuts.
Yep.
Steve DeBerg? Okay.
Steve DeBerg.
Now name all the musicians in ABBA.
Oh, God, I couldn't name one of them.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay,
I love their music, but I never... They have very, very difficult to say Swedish names.
What about Leonard Skinner?
Oh, God, I mean, you got What's His Nuts and the other guy.
Yep, he's in there, too.
General Motors told employees to come in late so they can watch the Lions play in the NFC title game.
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
I like that.
This is for the third shifters who normally start work Sunday night at 9.
Yeah.
But they're saying dump it back an hour because the Niners-Lions game doesn't start till 5:30.
Yeah.
That's a very cool move.
I honestly can't imagine what it feels like in Detroit right now for this Lions team. You know, the Vikings have been there many times before, but, you know, the history that Detroit, or the lack of history of the lack of being in this position for 30 plus years, the build up to this game just must be amazing.
I love it when we talk about the history. I do. Charles Barkley says he has a man crush on Dan Campbell.
I fell in love with the Detroit Lions. I have a man crush on Dan Campbell. I know nothing about Dan Campbell, but I'm like, I want to play. I play football one day. I want to play for Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I'd date Charles Barkley.
He'd probably pick up the tab.
Oh, yeah.
Most definitely.
A lot of laughs.
Mm-hmm.
But how hyped are they in Detroit? Like Randy, you were just saying, you know, you can't even imagine the vibe and the excitement.
Oh, I bet it's so fun.
How pumped are they in Detroit? Last night, the Red Wings had a home game against the Philadelphia Flyers, and for no reason, the crowd started chanting Jared Goff's name. It's the first time ever the Detroit Lions, first time ever the Detroit Red Wings felt like second-class citizens compared to the Detroit Lions. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Here's the thing I have to separate in my mind. The same people who are cheering for the Detroit Lions in Michigan are Michigan Wolverine fans.
That hurts.
Yeah,
It hurts to know that. I know you hate the University of Michigan. Yes.
But, yeah.
It's difficult, isn't it, Brad?
It is.
Yeah. All right, who wants diarrhea?
Sure.
Please,
Why
I do.
That'd go over well before class today.
There's your opening line.
Now we're praying you get diarrhea.
Brad's waddling out of the classroom holding the back of his pants.
Every 10 minutes.
I'd appreciate the change from the opposite spectrum that I suffer. So, yeah, I'd take diarrhea.
Yeah, I bet you would.
Any day.
Truly has come up with a hard seltzer that tastes like buffalo wing sauce just in time for the Super Bowl.
Ooh,
I'd get down with that.
I was wondering, because you like the seltzers.
I do like the seltzers, and I like wings.
And you love buffalo sauce.
It's the first ever hot wing sauce hard seltzer.
Yuck.
That's what I'm saying too, Wapple.
Fine, more for me.
It says here, it's a limited edition kind of a thing. I think you have to buy it online, Skis. And I think you can start buying it up in, what day is it today? Friday? Saturday? Monday. You can start buying it Monday. A 24-pack. No, that doesn't make sense. A 4-pack of 16-ounce cans cost you $24, and they say they'll have it at your door prior to the Super Bowl.
Whoa. I'm going to try to get some.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, but try it. Maybe I'll sample some on the air. No, states available for delivery. California, I won't list them all, but not Minnesota.
Minnesota's not on there?
No. Shoot.
Does this matter at all to you? Super Bowl comes up in, I don't know when they'll play it, in a month or so. This will be the first time that the Super Bowl has an in-house DJ.
Kind of surprised, actually.
Yeah, me too.
I've never had one. I like the DJ at the Wolves games. Do you like that?
Sure.
Yeah,
it's fun.
DJ at the Twins games, too?
I haven't seen a DJ at the Twins games.
Yeah, he's in that Twins Plaza area where they play bags and everything.
Yeah, I got a chance to meet him last year.
That's fun. I'd always rather hear the organ at a baseball game, to be honest with you, than some dude playing, give me a song.
Party rock anthem?
Sure.
Nick loves that song.
I don't know what that means. Party rock anthem. Anyway, so this, I don't know, how is this going to be different than normally when you're at a ball game and they play some music during timeouts? I don't know, but it's the first time an in-house DJ will work the Super Bowl. Some of you like this garbage. Do you know a guy named, is it Tiesto? Tiesto?
Yeah, it was.
Say it again?
Tiesto.
Oh.
Yep.
You know him.
You know all those guys well.
Yeah, he's great. I like how Nashville, at the Nashville Predators games, sometimes they'll get a band to play. Sometimes they'll pull up a local band or a more popular band, and they'll play in the arena, like above where the Zamboni comes out.
Oh, cool.
The Twins did that for a couple years.
Yeah.
Sure. Mm-hmm. That's where I first saw
Cuckoo Kangaroo.
Big Don and the, what are they called again?
Cuckoo Kangaroo.
That's where I first saw Cuckoo Kangaroo, and it was a riot.
Those guys are fun.
Denny Green used to bring his drum corps there all the time during Vikings games. That's old news.
What do you mean? He played where?
Denny used to have his drum guys there during Vikings games.
Oh, right.
Remember that?
Yeah. But what was the name of the band that he played?
Sunshine Music Band.
The Sunshine Music Band.
Eyes Never Lie.
It's our hit single. It's called Eyes Never Lie.
That's right. I only play when I win. Hand me the sticks.
The Atlanta Falcons' next head coach will be Raheem Morris. This surprised some people. They thought it would be that prick Bill Belichick.
I think Belichick may get shut out.
Yeah. How about that?
I think the longer that process went on, the more you could read the writing on the wall. They weren't going to hire him.
I think all those guys, Pete Carroll, all those guys may get shut out.
God dang, we got a listener that says he bought a 4-pack of Hormel chili-flavored beer.
Oh,
I didn't even know they had that.
Oh.
I love Hormel
Can you
chili.
imagine the aftermath?
I am now.
I also love
eating a chili dog with it, too.
Pardon me?
Just really add on.
Eat a chili dog and drink a can of chili-flavored beer.
Yeah.
That is Pumbaa Clear the Savannah.
Have a chili flavored beer and then that Buffalo seltzer. Back to back.
No kidding.
That sounds like a stomach ache.
Josh, I'm with you. I love Hormel chili.
It's good.
Oh, God.
Have you ever put, I haven't, but I just thought of it right now, TM, trademark, R with a circle around it.
Yeah.
The chili cheese Fritos, have you ever put those in Hormel chili?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I've put regular Fritos in there. I don't know if I've
never
put
done it before. That's stupid.
Okay. Well, why would you need chili cheese Fritos when you already have a bowl of chili?
Well, exactly. I just came up with it right now.
Put the beans above the Franks. How did you
get the beans above the Frank?
So a lot of folks thought that Bill Belichick was going to be the next head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. It ends up being some dude named Raheem Morris. Some people are excited for Raheem Morris. Yeah. A lot of people, Falcons fans, some of them are very upset. They wanted to see what Bill Belichick could. Here's the tweet that you should hear. Bill Belichick had what felt like a 28-3 lead for the Falcons job, and it ends up going to Raheem Morris. The Carolina Panthers are going to hire some guy named Dave Canales to be their new head coach. He's been a defensive coordinator here and there.
I saw they gave him 6 years.
Or maybe he was an offensive coordinator. I don't know.
Tampa Bay. He's an offensive.
They signed him up for 6 years?
Yeah, that's a long time for a first year.
And they're already paying 3 other guys, I think.
I'm saying.
Wow.
That's almost Wolves-like, because at one point the Wolves were paying 3 head coaches too. I don't think it's that way anymore.
David Tepper.
Hey, Randy Shaver, you degenerate gambler.
Yes, sir.
Have you heard of a New England Patriots wide receiver who goes with the name of Kayshon Boutte? Is it?
Yeah, he's in trouble.
Boutte, is that how you say the name?
I'm not sure if that's
I've only
how you
read
say
it.
the
I
name.
haven't heard it.
He's in trouble.
He might be all done.
He's going to be all done.
He was arrested on Thursday for charges related to illegal online gambling. The NFL doesn't like that so much. He took bets. Many of the bets took place while he was a college player at LSU. It says that he bet close to 9,000 times from April of 20 plus 22 to May of 20 plus 23. Now, I'm not good at arithmetic, but this is what it says in front of me. He would make around 700 bets per month, 23 bets per day.
Dang.
Wow, that's a little bit of an addiction.
Yeah, he could use some help.
To add to the misery for this kid, he was betting illegally. He had a fake ID.
Oh, jeez.
Man.
How did a college kid afford that?
I was wondering that myself. I mean, what's the least you can bet on something? I mean,
I
don't really
it depends on what you're doing. You could bet a quarter if you wanted to, or a nickel, sure.
So is this going
Chances are, if he's making that volume of bets, he's not betting $10 each, though.
Yeah.
Is that going to crack open a whole new case on LSU was illegally paying their players, and that's how this guy was able to make, who knows. But anyway.
How do you illegally pay players these days?
With NIL.
You're not really illegally doing anything.
Well, but this was a couple years ago, wasn't it? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, he was 2022 to 23.
Were they doing the NIL thing in 2022?
Yeah.
I think so.
I think so, yeah.
The bottom, who cares? But the kid, they say he never bet LSU games. I don't know if
doesn't matter, though. At that
no,
point,
no,
right?
it does. I'm just throwing that in there. What else is going on? Wolves had another terrible fourth quarter, but this time they were able to squeak out with a 2-point win. Terrible fourth quarter.
All you got to do is win right now for this club.
I'm
Just
telling
win.
you, I love Anthony Edwards. I love the guy to death. I think he's such a cool character and a fun kid to watch. Of course, fun to watch. But he would not stop shooting the basketball, even though at one point or another he missed 10 shots in a row. He would not stop shooting the basketball.
Yeah, but that's shooter's mentality, Nick. You're a shooter. That's what you do.
Yes, but Carl is on the floor and he's doing fine. Just give the ball to Carl and you can take your shooter's mentality to the limits next game.
It's almost the reverse of what happened the other night.
Yeah, I was going to say, they tried to do that the other night, and it was a mess.
Did you watch last night's game?
I did.
Edwards was cold as ice late fourth quarter. Give the ball to somebody. It doesn't have to be Carl. Give the ball to somebody else. You're not having a good night. Don't give me this shooter's mentality crap. He almost lost the game for us. I love the kid, but he doesn't get it at times. Pass the basketball. Pass the basketball to somebody else. Can you tell that?
I will say this, that you're correct in some ways that, again, last night.
I'm correct. In every possible
last
way.
night, in many cases, this team gets so stagnant in the last 5 minutes of a basketball game. There's a lot of hero ball. There's not a lot of passing. They just seem to want to try to win the games themselves as opposed to running plays.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Chris Hine from the Star Tribune had a tweet last night after the game. It said that in January, the Timberwolves are 28th in the league in offensive efficiency down the stretch, whatever that means. And you can see it. I mean, you can see it this week.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As soon as the third quarter ends, we get into this effing boring, like you said, hero ball. At any rate, they play at San Antonio tomorrow night. They got the win. Pigs couldn't get a win last night at home. They had a 1-0 lead going into the third period against Nashville, but the Predators scored 3 effing times in the final period, and they held on to win 3-2. I was jaw-jacking yesterday about former all-time great man, Bear Pig Andrew Brunette, and there he was on my television last night behind the bench as the head coach of the Predators. I'd forgotten completely that he was leading that club. Next up for this club, the Wild, we're all obligated to fall down and touch ourselves because tomorrow is Hockey Day in Minnesota.
It's going to be great.
They're getting things started in War Road this weekend for Hockey Day. On television, on Bally Sports North, the high school gals, War Road, Lakeville North. High school dudes, Moorhead and Wayzata. High school dudes, again, War Road, Roseau. And the Pigs play the Ducks at 8 o'clock. Golden Gopher men's and women, they're on Big Ten Network.
Yeah.
But again, if you're going to watch all
and I think the PWHL, is that what it is? I'm sorry. Do I have that right? I think they're on tomorrow too, aren't they?
They're on something. I think it's Saturday, Sunday. Yeah. Well, anyway, the women play too.
I thought they were part of it tomorrow too.
All I'm telling you is this much: if you're going to watch all the Hockey Day coverage on Bally Sports North, count how many times someone says tradition. If it's under 1,000, I'll be surprised. At one point or another, I challenged myself to drink anytime someone said tradition.
Oh no. No.
No, you'll be 3 sheets to the wind by 10 a.m.
You're right. The ladies play. They're on an East Coast trip, Boston and then New York. Golden Gopher, I mentioned that already.
Yeah, it looks like 4 o'clock Eastern time.
Golden Gopher basketball's at Penn State. All right, here we go, Wapple. Punch it, son. People are texting in. They're saying they canceled that pond hockey tournament. Yes, I'm aware of that.
All done.
They canceled the Chili Open. Man, we used to get hammered at that deal when we were young. Thanks for the note, Josh.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes I can't keep it in.
Josh just wrote me a note, and it's going to get me through the rest of this broadcast. On one side of the paper, it says, I like you. And then there's an arrow. It says, turn the page over. I turned it over. It says, very much.
That's just how I feel.
That's so sweet.
Nice.
There might be some golf courses opening next week.
Coon Rapids, Bunker Hills is opening today for the driving range.
Yeah, I got that email a couple days ago.
Yeah.
I might go.
And,
It'd be nice to shoot
they'll
some
likely
balls
be
outside.
open next week.
That's what I'm
100%.
saying. There might be a lot of courses opening next week.
Take a lot more than nice weather to get me to go to Coon Rapids.
End of January playing golf in Minnesota.
I know.
I'm excited.
Welcome to the 155th edition of the most popular and universally loved Friday gimmick in the history of morning radio. Our one-on-one trivia blow bang called Dad Fights.
Jesus.
Every Friday morning, Randy Shaver there and Brad Ryder in the other corner, they square up for a battle of brain cells. Each week, we try and find a fresh subject to try out on the boys. And here's what we got cooking this time around. So Joe Mauer is on his way to the damn Baseball Hall of Fame, and we couldn't be more proud.
Yep.
Couldn't be more proud. By God, if you look around, there are quite a few different halls of fame that a guy or a gal might be able to squeeze themselves into if they work hard enough. There's a Magic the Gathering Hall of Fame.
Oh, my God.
There's a Circus Hall of Fame. There's a Caddy Hall of Fame, as in the guys who follow golfers around all day long.
Interesting.
A Burlesque Hall of Fame, a Roller Derby Hall of Fame, and a place I'd love to end up someday, Josh, the World Taekwondo Federation Hall of Fame.
Oh, my word.
Now, we're not going to get too obscure on you guys today, but we are going to test you two bastards on some of the many different halls of fame out there and what's been enshrined in there. For each challenge, we'll name the specific Hall of Fame, and then we'll give you all kinds of hints and information to try and lead you to name the person or the people or the thing that is enshrined in said hall. It's pretty easy to follow, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Want me to say it again?
Isn't there more than one person in each of these halls of fame?
Brad, you didn't listen closely enough.
No? Okay.
Okay. For each challenge, we'll name the specific Hall of Fame, and then we'll give you all kinds of hints and information to try and lead you to name a specific person or people or thing that is enshrined in said hall. It'll be fun. You'll do just fine. As usual, you want to be the first one to shout out the correct answer. Holler it out. If you're correct, you'll hear the bell. Incorrect? What are we doing?
I've got this.
Oh, that's the dude from the Wolves-Hornets game the other night.
Yep.
He screams, no!
The Hornets announcer, Eric Collins.
All right.
Didn't like it when Karl Anthony Towns set that scoring record.
All right. You're right. Correct, Bell. Incorrect one more time. You can steal an answer from a listener. I
thought that was Jerry the King at first.
Sorry, you can steal an answer from your opponent. That did sound a little bit like the King.
Or Howard Dean, if you remember that.
No,
story.
yeah.
Oh, gosh.
10 challenges plus a tiebreaker if necessary here for the 155th edition of Dad Fights. Now, for our intro today, be patient with this guy. Our intro is being handled by Afraid of Public Speaking Jesus. Take it away.
That was a hell of an intro.
Oh my God, that's so good.
For a guy that's afraid of public speaking, not bad.
Knocked it out of the park.
That's so good.
Bring him back next week.
They did the best they could. Thank you, Afraid of Public Speaking Jesus. If you'd like to be in charge of an intro for a future dad fight, like Afraid of Public Speaking Jesus, send us an email, hams93x@gmail.com, hams93x@gmail.com, however you like it. Give us your name, we'll give you a call, we'll get you hooked up. If you'd like to be our intro person for a dad fight. Okay, the Random Hall of Fames edition is what we're calling this one. Brad and Randy going head-to-head. Again, we'll give you the Hall of Fame that we're discussing.
Okay.
And we'll give you some hints and information to where you'll be able to name the person or the people or the thing, the specific person, people, or thing that's enshrined in that hall.
Has everybody got the phlegm removed?
Yes.
Yep, sure.
Thank you.
Testing out the bell.
The Mascot Hall of Fame in Whiting, Indiana was founded in 2005 by a guy named David Raymond. You may not know him by that name, but you're definitely familiar with the mascot costume he was the first person to wear. This furry...
San Diego Chicken.
Oh, not yet.
Incorrect, Brad.
This furry, horn-nosed, majestic green flightless bird with an extendable tongue and a penchant for dancing on dugouts.
The Philly Fanatic.
Philly Fanatic is the correct answer. There are 30 mascots in the hall, 20 pro, 10 college, but none of our local mascots have made the cut quite yet.
God, Goldie's not in there.
Not in there
he
yet.
deserves it.
Come on.
And much to the chagrin of my boy Nick, Bucky Badger, inducted in just the second year of the fame's existence.
Nothing more than a skunk in a popcorn box. Nice work, Randy Shaver. 1-0 Randy, the correct answer. The Philly Fanatic. He's a lot of fun.
Yeah, he is.
All right. Next time you're in Las Vegas, you can spend some time reliving your youth at the Pinball Hall of Fame. The massive venue has over 700 playable pinball machines, including this all-time best-selling machine, based on a creepy and kooky television family from the 1960s.
The Addams Family.
From the 1960s, Brad Ryder is correct. The Addams Family.
Good one.
There is one particular Addams Family machine in the Pinball Hall of Fame. It's based on the movie from the year 1991. It sold over 21,000 copies, if that's the word you use for a pinball machine. 21,000 of them were sold. It's the highest selling pinball machine ever. The Addams Family stinking pinball machine.
One of my neighbors had that Addams Family machine pinball machine.
Dang. I don't believe a word of what you just said.
Yeah,
I don't
that
know.
was a bold-faced lie.
Don't believe anything.
Dana, when you research this, is the Kiss pinball machine in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, it is.
Ooh, I got one of those in my house.
Yeah, you do.
I have a buddy with the Star Wars one. Is that in there?
Dude!
Oh,
I'm
sweet.
sure it is, yeah.
Do you have a pinball machine, Dana?
No, I don't. I just have arcade machines.
You've got the Kiss one, or did you get rid of that, Nick?
I have it, yeah.
You still have it?
I still have it. It doesn't work quite properly. When it works properly, when you throw a quarter in the sumbitch, it plays Rock and Roll All Night with little bells. It goes boom, 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 boom. But lately it's not working, so you put a quarter in it, it goes Britsky, Frank.
That's the problem with those old pinball machines. The upkeep on them is so difficult.
Who do you call for that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are people.
There are people, but they cost a lot of money.
I don't want that quality of person in my home.
It's like those people that fix grandfather clocks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We're tied at 1. Is that right? Tied at 1?
Yep.
Tied at 1 here, Dad Fights.
Over 200 broadcasters have been inducted into the Minnesota Broadcasters Hall of Fame, most notably our very own Randy Shaver. But so far, there's been only one dog. This beloved black lab sidekick of famous...
Raven.
Couldn't think of it. Darn it.
Ron Shera's dog,
Yes,
Raven.
Ron Shera.
The famous lab. They were inducted together. The dog became so iconic that Shera started selling plush Raven toys, complete with her trademark red bandana.
Oh, I love Raven.
I'll be Laura Shera's dog.
You'd like her to put you in a collar and a leash?
Oh, I'll crawl.
You'd be her lap dog.
Yeah, I'll eat out of a dish. I'll poop outside. Whatever.
Quickly become one of those dogs that eats the crotch of underwear.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Nick's always naughty. Always needs to be punished.
She's a very nice gal. We worked together briefly.
Oh, she's awesome.
We worked together for a brief period of time. And I
Laura
think
Shera is awesome.
we got along very well. I have no idea who answered that correctly.
Brad.
I did.
Brad.
So it's 2-1 Brad. Raven, the beloved. Oh, God.
Love Raven.
Adorable.
All the Ravens.
The porn industry has its own Hall of Fame.
Oh god.
Every year, a brand new batch of talented inductees go in and out and in and out and into what they call the Adult Video News Hall of Fame. Basically, the Porno Movie Hall of Fame. One of the most popular and successful pornographic actresses in the world was inducted into the Porno Hall of Fame back in the year 2000+9. She hit the big time the prior year when she played the lead role in an adult movie called Who's Nailin' Palin, where she parodied politician Sarah Palin. Name this voluptuous adult actress.
God, don't know.
Don't know either. Lisa Ann? I don't know.
Oh, why'd you throw that out there, Brad?
I love that you pretended you didn't know.
No, I really didn't. I just took a guess because I figured we were running out of time. Was I right?
He was too late, wasn't he, Waffle?
Yeah, he was too late,
shoot.
but he nailed it.
Brad, you were correct, but you did not get the answer.
What did he say? I didn't even.
Lisa Ann.
Lisa Ann.
She's the one that does a lot of the sports podcasts and whatnot now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You were close, Brad. You were
Yeah,
close.
I don't feel bad about that. It was a guess.
The movie Who's Nailin' Palin featured a cast of all-time porno movie greats. I really enjoyed looking this up. I really did, because I hadn't seen the movie yet, so I looked it up.
Show research.
Along with Lisa Ann, Nina Hartley is featured in this movie, Evan Stone, and one of the all-time great porn actors, Mike Horner, played a character. Mike Horner played a character named Bill O'Reilly. Now, according to Danalysis, the yearly 20Ad24 AVN Awards ceremonies take place this weekend in Las Vegas. They hand out awards for movies of the year and such. Here's a sampling of some of the films up for awards this year. Here are some of the titles. My Girlfriend's Yoga Roommate. Make It Clap is up for an award.
Yep.
And my favorite title that's up for an award this year at the AVNs, What Are You Doing, Bro?
I'd be scared to watch that.
Yeah. Well, what is that bro doing?
Yeah, because they seem very open to different things in those movies, and if they're confused as to what somebody's doing, yuck.
What are you doing, bro? I love that.
Did you guys see the bad news about Jessie Jane, the porn star Jessie Jane?
I know she's been in trouble lately. What's the story?
She passed away, only 43 years old.
Yeah, Dana just broke that news
Sounds
too.
like a drug overdose.
God help us.
Pretty lady.
I had heard that there were some problems there for a stretch of time. Oh, wow, she was... Well, that's a sad note. It's still 2-1 in favor of somebody. I'm really struggling today.
Brad.
2-1 in favor of Brad today. We're going through different halls of fame here in today's Dad Fights edition.
As a noted coulrophobiac, Ashley will never squeeze into a comically small car with a dozen of her friends and drive to Baraboo, Wisconsin to visit the International
Clown Hall of Fame.
Clown Hall of Fame, yes. Are you giving that as an answer, or?
Let's let that let it pass.
Yeah. You Dana'd me. Dana does that sometimes.
We're always looking for something that's in the specific Hall of Fame. Right?
Well, the clowns would be in there.
That's true.
I think that was an answer.
I don't think there's one clown in the Clown Hall of Fame.
All right, let's just move on.
Randy, this segment is called Dad Fights. And what we're doing is we're giving you the Hall of Fame. We're giving you that information, and then you have to name something that's in that particular Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. As we explained 20 minutes ago.
A Clown Hall of Fame.
Right.
So far, so good. You're correct, Randy.
Yeah.
But if you ever make the 3.5-hour drive, you'll see plenty of memorabilia from this world's most famous clown.
Bozo.
Yes. Bozo the Clown.
Hate him.
Do you really? Oh, you don't like clowns?
Yeah, you don't like clowns in general.
My bad.
Shut it, will you? He's Bozo the
it's
Clown.
Bozo the
For
Clown.
God's sake, he brought joy to millions of little kids.
He still
looks
does.
like a murderer.
In 2021, actor, wrestler, laugh talker David Arquette bought the rights to the character Bozo the Clown.
Is that right?
I love David Arquette. We were lucky enough to interview him a couple times, and he was awesome.
Very, very funny guy. We're tied at 2. 2 correct answers for Brad, 2 correct answers for Randy. The WWE Hall of Fame doesn't just induct big, swelled, tick maniac wrestlers. They added what they call a celebrity wing to their hall back in the year 2004. Just last year, one of the most unique and funniest men to ever live was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame posthumously. Okay, I heard Randy Shaver say Bob Uecker. That is incorrect.
Shooting for something. Okay.
I understand. Brad Ryder, here's the rest of the question just for you. Inducted into the Hall of Fame posthumously in 1982. He helped take television wrestling to the mainstream with an appearance on the David Letterman Show alongside Jerry the King Lawler.
Andy Kaufman? Is that who that is?
Nice.
Okay. Yeah.
One of the greatest bits in the history of late-night television when Lawler slapped Kaufman right out of his chair on Letterman. They were hilarious. One of the great bits that Andy Kaufman used to do when he and Lawler were putting on shows together down in Memphis, Tennessee, putting on wrestling shows. Kaufman was a big-time heel down there, of course, and Lawler was the fan favorite. Kaufman would taunt the residents of Memphis at live shows by showing them tutorial videos on how to use soap. I mean, and the crowd legitimately wanted to kill him.
That's good.
Nice one, Brad Ryder, with a 3-2 lead. Randy tried to get in there. I get it.
Trying.
Andy Kaufman, some say Kaufman. Correct answer.
Since its opening in Rochester, New York in 1998, the National Toy Hall of Fame has inducted 85 toys into their hallowed halls. Among the original class of 17, the toys included, that year were Barbies, Frisbees, and these little plastic colorful bricks sold at a massive...
Legos.
I said it.
I would say that was Brad.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got in with it.
No.
Yeah.
I would say Randy.
Yep.
Yeah, it was me. Oh, come on, Wapple.
Brad, Wapple, you're the official guy.
way ahead of
Waffle is
Brad.
the determiner. Waffle.
Yeah, but
That sounded Randy to me.
Wapple is the final answer. However, I don't know what happened to you right there. I think all of the referees need to get together and
head to the review booth,
have a review.
Yeah.
That was clearly Randy Shaver.
Yeah.
You guys always say it's the last one to finish it, and it was Brad.
And
what do you mean finish it? I said Legos.
No, he jumped in there. He's older. He talks slower.
Wapple, this is the first time we're going to overrule your judgment.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry, it's coming from the league, Brad. There's nothing we can do.
That was clearly Randy
Yeah,
Shaver.
Randy was there first.
Legos is the correct answer. You both said it.
Wapple's always had it out for me.
oh, come on.
Yeah, that vengeful Wapple.
Finally, we addressed the elephant in the room. Lego Vikings quarterback Kirk Cousins revealed he bought a ton of Lego to pass time after tearing his Achilles. And Brandon Duhaime of the Minnesota Wild, just like Kirk, also bought a ton of Lego sets when he was injured.
Nice work on both your part. Randy got there first.
Thank you.
It was a close one, but yeah, it was Randy.
For the third or fourth time during this segment, I have no idea who we are or who's in the lead.
I believe we're tied at 3.
Okay, we're tied at 3. Listen closely, boys. As if radio people don't already think way too highly of themselves, someone put together a National Radio Hall of Fame years ago. Josh and I will be the absolute class of that group when we eventually go in to the Radio Hall of Fame. Name this member of the National Radio Hall of Fame who is not only known for his decades of broadcast excellence, but also for a satirical disco novelty song called Disco Duck that became a massive #1 hit song in 1976.
I've heard this song. Rick Dees.
Oh, good one.
Dees
Good one.
What was that?
Rick Dees.
Rick Dees gets a Dees nuts dumped on him?
I didn't hear it.
My God.
Nuts!
Oh, I heard it that time.
You guys all remember Disco Duck? You
Yes,
guys grew up in
absolutely.
You grew up in the 70s. Rick Dees, who's still doing radio. He does a top 40 show. I don't know where you find it, but he's 73 years old.
Wow.
At the time Disco Duck was released, Dees was a disc jockey in Memphis. Speaking of, wow, we're doing Memphis twice, just like with the Lawler and Andy Kaufman conversation. He was a DJ in Memphis. It became a #1 hit. The song even earned a 1977 People's Choice Award for Favorite New Song. And if you're too young to know Disco Duck, look up a video on YouTube.
All right.
There's a particular video of Rick Dees performing this. I don't know what show it was on, maybe Solid Gold, I don't know. It's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And people could not get enough of this. The disco, I was 6 years old. I thought it was an effing riot. But the fact that grown folks bought this record is still kind of amazing to me.
Yeah.
So,
Brad now takes the lead?
Yep.
All right.
4-3.
Finish him.
All right.
4-3, Brad.
Pressure's on. Not all Hall of Fames revolve around humanoids. There's also a Robot Hall of Fame, established in Pennsylvania in 2003. You'll find plenty of classic fictional robots among the inductees, like R2-D2 and C-3PO from Star Wars. But others are more practical, like this disc-shaped automatic vacuum with a funny name.
Disc-shaped automatic. Oh,
Oh, so close.
Oh.
I'm gonna kick myself on this.
Randy, you're so close.
Ashley, what is it?
It's a Roomba.
Roomba.
Oh,
God.
yeah.
Think of it.
I couldn't either.
Roomba.
That's not what we call mine at home.
Oh, do you have a nickname?
We call it Romulus. But I know that's not right.
The Roomba vacuum makes a couple of cameos in the former NBC sitcom Parks and Rec. Aziz Ansari's character, Tom Haverford, puts a Bluetooth speaker on his Roomba at parties and calls it DJ Roomba because it vacuums while playing music.
What is that? Oh, I strapped an MP3 player to one of those floor cleaning robots. Call him DJ Roomba. Little guy cruises around and plays music. What's hot, DJ Roomba? DJ Roomba! Turn it up!
So great.
Now, we are down to our final challenge, at least in regulation play, for this week's edition of Dad Fights. Brad Ryder leads by 1. Am I correct about that?
I think it's over.
No.
You can still tie it.
Brad Ryder.
Randy can tie it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's 4-3 in favor of Brad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you're on my side, Randy.
See, he's a forgiving fella.
If Brad gets this next challenge correct, he wins. If Randy gets it, we have a tie. We will go to a tiebreaker. If neither one of you get it, Brad will be declared the winner.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
And Brad, you haven't won in a while.
Yeah,
won this
a
year.
couple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
What is here?
The World Video Game Hall of Fame was established in 2015. Name this Hall of Fame video game that was released in 2006 where you could play golf, you could box, you could play baseball, you could go bowling, and play tennis, all in one game.
Oh, gosh.
Nintendo.
Nintendo is the answer? No. Randy Shape.
I don't know.
Fatality.
Oh, Wii, right?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Well, we would accept Wii or Wii Sports.
Yeah. Okay.
Brad
Doesn't matter, I won.
It doesn't matter. I could hear that both of you coming close to coming up with Wii or Wii Sports.
I never would have got it.
But by the fact that neither one of you got it right, Brad Ryder is the winner of today's Dad Fights by a final of 4-3. Wii Sports.
Is that even popular anymore?
Just real quick, I thought Randy could tie. Am I totally spacing out here?
He could have tied if he'd have got that one right.
I got it right.
Oh, with the tiebreaker? Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Did I just embarrass my kids?
Again?
Would you like to come to my class today, John?
Yeah, I could use the help.
We're going to have a unit on remedial math today.
I apologize to my kids for the crap you might get in school.
If they were tied at the end of regulation, then yes, we go to a tie.
Is that why they call it a tiebreaker?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Which, by the way, every week, Josh, you are in charge of
I know.
the tiebreaker.
I realize that.
Wii Sports was a lot of fun. It really was.
Yeah, I love that game.
Is it still popular?
I have no idea.
Not as popular as it used to be. No.
Yeah, I've
That
never
was
heard
a
of
fun
anybody
game.
buying it.
It's one of the highest selling video games of all time.
It turned out to be the 4th best-selling video game of all time. And the best part about it, and everyone knows this, was all the home videos that popped up of people getting a little too pumped while playing, and they accidentally tossed the remote through a window.
I remember one New Year's
tennis.
Eve when my kids were like 6, 7, 8 years old. We just played the heck out of that for about 4 hours.
Yeah, it was fun. Especially, I really liked the bowling was the best in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there you go, boys. We got to get the hell out of here, but it was a fun edition of Dad Fights. You both did well. We hope you have a terrific weekend. You enjoy the ball games and the hockey day in Minnesota and all that stuff, and we'll talk to you on Monday morning.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Thanks very much, Brad and Randy. We'll take a break and come back here in a few minutes.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our experienced and certified technicians at Standard Heating have been trusted to keep our fellow Minnesotans comfortable and confident for over 90 years. We're ready to do the same for you, providing comfort you deserve since 1930.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's 94 years of business celebration is going on right now. You can save up to $1,930 on a new furnace and AC combo or boiler. Don't miss this great deal. Go to standardheating.com.
Business has always been about turning a profit, making money. But can it stand for something more? Something beyond dollars and cents? We think so. We think that today, business has a higher calling, a purpose to be fair and just, to do right by their workers, customers, communities, and the environment. And it turns out companies successful doing that also do better for their bottom line. When you see the Just Capital seal, it means this company is a force for good. Visit justcapital.com to learn more.
Half-assed morning show.
69. This show sucks. Who are you, fart knockers?
93X.
I'll tell you what. Isn't this something? Here we go. We're back. Thank you so damn much for dialing up the 93X Half-assed morning show. It's 8:34. By damn, it's been a hell of a day so far. You know, earlier a listener dude texted in, he and the friggin' wife, they were headed out of town on an airplane, and then their next move was to get on board one of those big fat-ass cruise ships. And he didn't seem too pumped about going along on that deal, and I can understand it, but, you know, he doesn't need to put up with that if he doesn't want to. He could just get a divorce.
Easy as that.
January is divorce month. What do we have left in January? Just a few days?
Yeah, not too many.
Just
What,
a few
5 days?
Yeah, February 1st is next Thursday.
All this time, we've been 26 days into January. I didn't know January was divorce month. That's kind of exciting.
What? It is? What month were you divorced in, Ashley?
Wait a minute. I can't find divorce month exciting?
Well, you can find it exciting.
I'm kind of pumped about it. When did Smashley get a divorce?
That was late. More like March.
Oh, that's close
late
enough.
February, early
That's
March.
close
Do
enough.
you remember
that proves
what month
it right there.
What month did you get divorced in there?
Ah, boy, that's a good question because that was decades ago. But I remember when I fielded the paperwork, I want to say it was in the fall.
Okay.
So there you go. It was in the fall.
Fall sometime. You know what? I'm trying to remember. I remember getting the news that it was official. You and I were on one of our more infamous changing of the leaves tours. We love to watch the fall colors.
Were we on a leaf tour?
Yeah, we were.
On a fall color tour when I got that news?
I think so.
Yeah, a mailman pulled up alongside your truck and handed me the papers.
Yeah, well,
very symbolic.
It was actually a Mazda Miata. We were in a Miata.
A Miata?
Yeah, top down, checking out the leaves.
January is divorce month. Anyone in the process, text us if you have the time. We're here for support. 651-989-9393 if you've got anything to say about the process or anything at all about maybe how you got there. It's none of our business, but if you're willing to tell us a little bit.
Might be therapeutic for you.
I'm just overall really pumped about divorce month.
I can tell.
It can be a very exciting time for people.
Anyone here know someone in the process of getting a divorce?
Not right.
Yep, I do.
You do?
Oh, both of you do right now.
Yep.
Are they a lot of laughs to be around?
I haven't been around them in a while.
Oh.
But
Actually, I would
sounds
say
like things are going well, though, for them.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Are you being sarcastic?
The person that I'm thinking of, they genuinely, like, their life is a lot better now.
What, Dana, what month did you get divorced in?
I want to say we officially filed in March, but it was around this time when we started talking about, like, hey, maybe we should just call a ceasefire on this thing.
And you used a lawyer. I forget. Who did you use?
I used so my wife and we decided to get divorced, and then I used her as my divorce attorney.
Good call, because she's an attorney.
She was an attorney, yeah.
You're saving money that way.
We actually did save a lot of money. It was pretty, and ours was very seamless. It was very slick, so there's no fighting or anything.
She didn't want any of the toys that you brought to the marriage.
Mm-hmm. I didn't want any of the Barbie art that she hung up on the walls, so it was very easy to tell whose was who.
Hey, how about this? Hauling gas and crushing ass Jesus. His divorce was finalized this past Monday.
Oh, nice.
Got another listener who filed for divorce a few days ago. And someone else texted into the joke, why do divorces cost so much? Because they're worth it. January is another listener. My divorce got finalized January 6th.
I remember when I got the news, we were storming the Capitol.
That's right.
The fond memories.
This person filed for divorce January 9th after 8.5 years of marriage.
Although they say, you got your divorce papers, like we e-signed, so all I really have is like a PDF document. I feel like that's not as satisfying as getting like some actual papers.
I agree. I definitely
Yours were
agree.
e-signed as
Yeah,
well?
just e-signed and a PDF emailed to you. It said, hey, you're all good.
I did get like the hard copy in the mail though. And I mean, I guess that was pretty cool.
Bar Saw Jesus has texted in to say there are a few things better than a good divorce. So here's the deal. Go ahead, Josh.
I wanted to bring this up from Ag Engineering Jesus, and this is foolish of me not to have realized it, doing the math on Ashley's divorce.
You're not foolish.
No, I was silly. I've been foolish today. So this is how you figure it out. I had asked Ashley, well, what month were you divorced? And I should have thought of this. He said, all you have to do is you figure out the month that she was married and you add 1.
Gosh, I wish it was that short. It would have been easier to get it annulled.
A few listeners have texted in to say that they are not in the process of divorce, but they're thinking about it. Another person texted in and said, how did they say it? I haven't been divorced yet, but I want to be.
Oh, delete these texts if the other person doesn't know yet.
ER Nurse Jesus has checked in. She filed for divorce in January from her first marriage. It was official on Valentine's Day. Best decision ever, she said.
I like when it works out like that for people.
And you have a great weekend, too. Thank you.
So January is divorce month. It's sometimes called divorce month because it's when divorce lawyers see a big uptick in clients.
The holidays finally break you.
And you want to start fresh, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. You're
Start
right.
to think about changing things around.
Some folks wait to get through the holidays before they start making phone calls and filling out paperwork. There's about a 25% spike in the number of people looking for a divorce in January. It doesn't mean they necessarily file for divorce now. A lot of people just put the feelers out and wait until the spring, the thaw. It's symbolic. It's a new me. Now, Ashley, Dana, and Wapple, all your folks have been married for years, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it be kind of fun and interesting if they just suddenly pulled you aside and said, look, we're calling it quits? Wouldn't that be kind of fun and interesting?
I'd be very surprised, but yeah, I would want to know what that would be like.
Yeah.
You want to know what that would be?
I mean, I'm just picturing what it would be like, I'm not like I'd want that to happen, but I'm just picturing in my head, like, wow, well, how that would work out exactly.
You remind
you
me.
guys can't just finish it out. You're so close to it. Just finish it out.
You remind me like when a kid all of a sudden decides the youngest wants to be a big brother, right? I remember my youngest would say, I want a sibling. I want a younger sibling. He loves having older siblings, but he wanted to be an older brother because he loves his older brother. Mm-hmm. You're like that towards the end of, as an adult, you want to see what it's like for them to get divorced.
Yeah, everybody else a lot of my other friends' parents got divorced. I want to know what it's like, too.
I want to see what dad brings home from the bar.
Yeah. I want to see which of the parents spoils me more on Christmas to try to buy my love.
Yeah.
Oh, that first Christmas is going to rule for young Dana.
We're going to Mexico.
I mean, when you're a little kid, I can understand that when your parents split up and divorce, it can be painful.
It's confusing.
Well, it depends on how old you are.
Yeah.
I think the confusion. My folks got divorced when I was 12 or 13 years old and then got remarried when I was 26 or something like that. But anyway, I can understand it. It can be hurtful, painful, disappointing, upsetting. But when you're 35, 40, 45 years old and your folks step up and say, hey, look, we're going to call it quits. That would just be so interesting. I'd have to say, oh, you got to tell me why.
Yeah, give me the juicy details.
Who of you would be, the three of you over there, Dana, Wapple, Ashley, who of you would be the most surprised if your folks stepped up and said, look, we can't live another minute with each other?
Oh, I'd be very surprised.
I think Dana would be most surprised.
Yeah, I'd say so.
The way
too.
he talks about his parents a lot.
Yeah, they're lifers.
I'd be surprised.
They have nobody to travel with anymore. So all they do is travel. I never know where they are.
Is that on purpose?
Yeah.
lose my number, son.
I think they lie to me and tell me where, so in case I want to get a hold of them or something, they can't find them.
Nick, were you more shocked when your parents got divorced or when they got remarried?
Oh, easily when they got remarried. Yeah.
Was there any signs or hints or anything, or is it just out of the blue one day
They kept it under wraps. They started seeing each other without telling us and then just sprung it on us and said, we're going to get remarried. I've told the story before where I laughed when my mother told me.
Yeah.
She said, what are you doing next weekend? I said, well, actually, I'm going to Chicago. And she said, oh, then you're going to miss it. I said, I'm going to miss what? Well, your dad and I are getting remarried. And I laughed in her face. Well, I laughed over the phone. And I said, well, tell me what the reason you're really calling. And she said, no, I'm not kidding. Go ahead, Josh.
Small Town City Council Jesus said divorce was final on my 40th birthday. Best gift I ever gave myself.
Hell yeah. Well, there you go. But, what were you saying, Ashley, a minute ago when I asked you three over there with the happily married parents? I said, what if suddenly they came to you today and said, look, we're done with each other? You said, look, you're so close already. Why not just finish it out, right?
Yeah.
I know a dude got a divorce at 80.
Whoa.
Somebody else texted in about an 80-year-old that got divorced somewhere in the 80s.
And he'd been married for 62 years or something, and finally he and his wife said, we can't even hit the finish line together, I'm out.
Oh, wow.
At 80 years old. We had a lot of fun with that one.
Oh, I would have too.
She stole my pudding cup one too many times.
We had a lot of fun with that one.
This person says, my parents divorced, and my dad ended up remarrying his first wife. Went back to the OG.
Tell you what.
Without staying a little.
There's a lot of adventures out there. A lot of them. And don't let anyone talk you out of it. Divorce month is fun. It is. It's a fun time to be alive.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
They got their heads up their ass.
On 93X.
Yeah. A few minutes ago, we were talking about the month of January. That's what we were talking about here on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. And my favorite thing about the month of January is that January is divorce month. I'm just tickled by that. A lot of folks file for divorce or start looking into the process come January. So we got some text messages from folks who are in the process or just got done or are just beginning the divorce proceedings and this and that. One of the more interesting side notes was really older folks that get a divorce. I mean, I know a guy who him and the wife split up. They're 80. And Ashley thought, well, what the hell? I mean, you can't just wrap life up together. It's that bad? Well, in some cases, yes. Here's a listener, B.S. Acres Jesus. His neighbors got divorced. They're both 86 years old. Just got divorced. 86 years old. I'll tell you what, it makes it easier. No need to go looking for an apartment. Just move into the old folks' home. Right?
That's a good point, yeah.
86 years old. Here's a listener who texted in saying, I'm not in the process of getting a divorce, but we did start marriage counseling. Did you try that, Dana, before you took a walk?
We talked about it, but neither of us were too invested in the idea, and we were kind of like, well, that looks like a sign right there that we don't even want to consider doing it. So
I remember it being brought up to me, and I said no.
Yeah.
I said I would not go to. This is interesting. The listener says, I just started marriage counseling. He says, I think the 8 weeks of counseling might actually be worse than the 8 weeks we've been married. Classic Country Jesus went through a divorce, and he said, good thing I love classic country. There's tons of relationship-ending songs to choose from.
Oh, most definitely.
I bet that's helpful.
A breakup playlist.
Wisco Lawn Care Skag Jesus says there's, some secondhand benefits to divorces. He said his best friend growing up, his parents got divorced. The best friend's parents got divorced. So his mom took the kid and his friend, Wisco Lawn Care Skag Jesus, to Disney World. When his dad found out, he took them to Hawaii. He said we were 15 and loved the one-upping.
Yeah. Wow. Dueling banjos of a divorce.
Rather not say Jesus said his sister got divorced. A year later, his brother was divorced. So his brother's ex-wife and his sister's ex-husband are now dating.
Wow.
Weird.
That's sexy. Pro Wrestling Mark Jesus texted in on the topic of divorce, seeing how this month, which is almost to an end, this month is Divorce Month. Pro Wrestling Mark Jesus says a buddy of his is getting a divorce that we've seen coming since the two of them started dating. Now that's fun. That's fun. It's interesting. I think it's interesting to see a couple, especially once they start talking about getting married, and then when they actually get married, where everyone in the room knows there's not a chance in hell this lasts.
Yeah, there's only one that I know of.
I mostly see that when it's like people that are high school sweethearts, they've only been with each other and they've been together for so long. So it's like, oh, this is the next step.
Actually, I thought it too. A buddy of mine, we were at his wedding and knew this isn't going to last. He was never able to maintain a relationship.
Right.
He loved to cheat. And so we figured this isn't going to work. And it didn't. But yeah, Ashley, we all thought yours wasn't going to last, and we were right on that. You were too young.
Yeah, way too young.
You were too young to get married.
You know, sometimes it's a high school sweetheart situation, I guess, Ashley, but not all the time. The buddies of mine who married their high school sweethearts are all still going strong, shockingly enough.
Yeah, same here.
I've been a part of a couple of those scenes where you know there's no friggin' way this is going to last, and it can be a hell of a lot of fun for everyone in the room except for the married couple. I wonder if people said that about me and my ex-wife. I don't know. I wouldn't blame them if they did, because we were also too friggin' young.
The one I saw the most where nobody realized, nobody thought it was going to work out was... It was 18, 19. It was a couple. They weren't even dating. They got pregnant. The parents were both super religious. We're like, you guys have to get married. Basically forced them into it. And man, it was more like a funeral than it was a wedding. It was just, everybody there was just like, oh, yeah, congrats.
You knew that it was... By the way, just for the record, you made it sound like this happened in the year 1819.
Yeah, I thought you were setting yourself up for a joke. I was waiting for it. I'm like, what movie is he referencing?
Yeah, I assumed it was a movie or an episode of Little House. Or
here we go again.
It was 1818 or 1819. I cannot recall.
Yeah. One of our listeners texted in to say that he refers to his divorce as his tumor removal.
Oh. Man.
Josh?
Some of those get kind of bad, man.
Yeah,
I feel for those folks.
Divorce isn't fun, but you gotta laugh about it. You know, makes the process better if you can laugh about it.
And you know what? You're right, but sometimes it is fun.
Well, you and Dana had easy divorces. Dana, his was hilarious when he found out, like 10 minutes after the divorce was finalized, his ex got implants.
That was fun for all of us.
We all did enjoy that story.
I was like, oh man, I'm going to get roasted for this. This is going to be great.
Josh, would you divorce your wife for Alyssa Milano?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't divorce my wife
Josh,
for anybody.
Alyssa Milano.
I know what you're saying.
You have mentioned many times over the years that you find her to be and I'm going to use a Josh term, a fly honey.
If this was the late 80s, early 90s, I might have a different answer. If you said, hey, you're going to be married, in Alyssa Milano, she shows up to break up your marriage, would you? I would say in a heartbeat. But yeah, now that I'm in it, I would not.
Bet Alyssa Milano doesn't carry around purse tuna.
Wait, why are you saying that like it's a bad thing?
No, it's a cool thing.
It is a bad thing. It makes your wife look crazy. You don't carry purse tuna around.
It does make a person look a little crazy.
It makes you look crazy. It is a bad thing to carry around purse tuna.
Well, at least she doesn't have a spork in. Oh, she has a spork in there.
No.
Uh-oh.
Alyssa, everyone, social media people are teeing off on Alyssa Milano, and not in the way that Josh would like to tee off on Alyssa Milano.
What?
What's the question?
I mean, why?
Well, you don't. Yeah, you're going to be right with these people in a couple of minutes, Smashley. She's a rich lady, and she married a rich man.
She did.
Did she marry a hockey player? There was a stretch of time where Alyssa Milano couldn't get enough of the NHLers.
I thought it was a hockey player. Maybe not.
She also dated a bunch of pitchers for a while, too.
Yeah, she liked athletes.
Good for her.
Did she marry someone that we know? Can someone look that up?
I'm looking it up right now.
I think she dated Harold Snepps and Gilles Malache. No, I'm kidding.
Do you think if I'm thinking about this question you asked about Alyssa Milano, would she let me call her Samantha?
Oh, wow. I bet she would.
Yeah. Her character from Who's the Boss?
Yeah. I see where you're going with that. You're a role player.
Yeah.
You like role playing?
I do.
She's married to somebody named David Buggalary right now.
David Buggalary.
Buggalary.
Yeah,
I don't know him. Well, the reason people are angry with Alyssa Milano is because she's got quite a few bucks in the bank, right? And so does her husband.
He's a talent agent.
Ah, yes.
Boy, I bet he's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I bet.
A talent agent. Okay. She went on social media and started a GoFundMe to pay for her son's traveling team baseball trip.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Girl.
I don't understand that. I mean, I feel they should be used for something completely different than maybe funding a rich person's traveling baseball team. But so I had looked up the donations and I thought, well, she set this up. I'd imagine she had quite a large donation, and maybe she's donating separately, most likely, but she hadn't. But I saw, and I don't know if it's the real one or not, but Mark Ruffalo, the Hulk, he supposedly donated. I don't know if it's the one, but he donated $200.
Yeah, people don't like that vibe when rich folks put their hand out for something. Yeah. So that's the gist of it. Her son plays on a traveling baseball team, and they're headed to Summers to play baseball. And she said, "Can we get a few bucks for the team? Just pay for it yourself, for Christ's sake. You're Samantha from Who's the Boss."
I know.
Yeah, just go do a commercial or go on Cameo.
So weird.
Yeah, I forgot this. A listener just texted in. I had forgotten all about this. Alyssa Milano once dated a former twin, killer Carl Pavano.
Yeah.
Josh knows this, I was once at In Cahoots in Hamel and I ran into killer Carl Pavano.
You were all like, "What's up, Carl Pavano?"
I did. I said, "What, Carl?" So there you go. I'd like you to leave your wife for Alyssa Milano. I would.
Nah, I don't think so.
So maybe we could go on a double date and she'll bring Tara Reid.
Would you leave your wife for Tara Reid?
Absolutely. Oh, God, yes.
Okay, well, let's say, would you leave your wife if you knew
yes.
it was...
For who?
Tara Reid, but...
Oh, without a doubt.
It's only a 2-week relationship. And you can never get back together with your wife.
Where do Tara and I go on this 2-week? Do we go someplace with nude beaches?
It's unrestricted, whatever you want. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Goodbye, whatever the ex-wife's name is now. Friggin' wife. All right, we better shut her down.
We're on overtime, and we got stuff to do.
What? No, we don't. I'm leaving right away.
Well, the station does. But once again, I'd like to express our condolences to the KS95 family. All of us were sad to hear they lost their friend and former coworker Larry Moon Thompson to MS. We had the great privilege of meeting Moon a few times over the years. He was a great guy, absolutely one of the best at what he did, and a great big loss to the community. So we were sorry to hear that. Shout out to Chipman Jesus checking in this morning. Happy 6th anniversary tomorrow to the original handyman Jesus from Vikings fan Jesus. Pooter Jesus has checked in to wish her husband hard on the back door Jesus a happy anniversary.
Oh, will you stop it?
And then she finished by saying 18 painful years. Happy Sunday birthdays to Chick 420 Jesus and Nico Jesus from School Bussin' Kai Jesus. You guys heard that text about the anniversary, right?
I did. And
18 years. 18 painful years.
Kind of left all of us in shock.
I know. Trust me. A big happy 50th birthday to Captain Stabbin' Jesus from Captain's Wench Jesus. Happy 34th to Making You Comfortable Before Death Jesus from Metal Militia Jesus. And a happy birthday to Snowflake Trucking Jesus, who said he'll be making his 31st trip around the sun tomorrow.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's 94 years of business celebration is going on right now. You can save up to $1,930 on a new furnace and AC combo or boiler. Don't miss this great deal. Go to standardheating.com.